Gets you, whacks you down so hard that you end up with your finger on the end of the handlebar and losing it.
Talk about fingers. Norrie Hager rumoured to be going back to Superbikes next year. He's struggling to come to grips with
jolly nice chap.
Michelin tyres in the Grand Prix, and
it's Leon Haslam.
Young Leon. Now he's had his share of problems. Not only is he recovering from the nasty fall, but he was badly stung on the face by a wasp. His dial doesn't look too bad, actually, under the circumstances. It was swollen up very badly on Friday. Wasps affecting a number of the riders at this circuit. Dr. Costa was very busy, facing a queue needing treatment. And, in fact, Haslam hit his wasp at 160 kilometres an hour. It crawled inside his helmet, bit him on the lip. Haruchika Aoki there, a nice wave from him. Of course, he had a stint in Superbikes and is back to Grand Prix. Gary McCoy was also affected by the wasp plague. He had to unzip his leathers while he was riding to try and get one out. Capirossi is allergic to him, so he was terrified.
It's Westy, look.
Anthony West with a lot more hair than we're used to.
Ants.
Check out his website too. It's quite amazing with his favourite music on it. Still going. The final wasp sting to talk about was back in 1994, actually, when Carlos Checa was badly stung at Imola. So it's not an uncommon problem. You might have noticed Nakano missing there from the lineup. So he's not going to be a contender this weekend. He's resting. And there is the young Aussie from Queensland, Brendan Clark. He's done a pretty good job under the circumstances, qualifying 21st in the Shell Advance Honda, but improving his times throughout the weekend. He's about 5 seconds off the pace.
Yeah, somebody that didn't understand English when I was talking about Brendan last time, I was saying that he was thrown into the deep end and it's really unfair to him, and he was on a hide into nothing, and somebody wrote to me saying, oh, you think he doesn't deserve the ride, and no brains, no headache. You know, what I was saying, I was sticking up for Brendan, saying don't expect too much of him, because he really is being put in a position where he's in a no-win situation. If he falls off, they say, well, I told you so, and if he doesn't do well, they say, well, I told you so, sort of thing. So
there's the yellow army and the red army. Quite amazing. Valentino Rossi supporters.
This is Valentino on the 2002 four-stroke bike at Suzuka when they were out there for the 8 hour, and they promised me, Carmelo Espeleta said to me and Mick Doohan that they definitely weren't going to be silenced. Will you have a listen to this? Sounds like a Volkswagen. Just now imagine how nice that'd sound with 5 open megaphones on it. It's just
Nevertheless, Rossi was impressed with the bike. Mick had a ride as well. So did Colin Edwards. Rossi and Edwards rewarded for their Suzuka 8-hour win. That's what they were doing during the holidays, so to speak. Wasn't much of a holiday for them. In fact, there's been a lot of conjecture about Rossi having to prepare for the Suzuka 8-hour and how it's affected his championship here as we return to him on the grid. There's some talk that there's just been way too much pressure put on Rossi by Honda when he really should be focusing on this man right here, Max Biaggi. But that's all speculation. If you ask Rossi himself, I doubt whether he would say it had a major impact. He's so composed.
I'm sure he wouldn't, but I'm sure it did, you know, because I know I spoke to Valentino when he was just leaving to go to London Airport after Donington to fly to Japan, and he wasn't too pleased about it there. And it's really unfair when you're trying to win a world championship on a 502 stroke to be sent to Japan to run around on a 1000cc 4-stroke. There's the grid there. Max in pole position, not very much in far of Valentino, Rossi, Capirossi, Van Gerber. Good result from him on Roberts' Proton bike. Gary McCoy, good old Gary's back again. Kenny Roberts, Charlie Checker and Alex Creville. Third row of the grid is Alex Barros, Gibernau, Abe, Olivier Jacques, Toru Okawa on the 4th row, Luis Cardoso, Haga and Nakano. I don't think Sinya's riding. 5th row of the grid, Leon Haslam, Haruchika Aoki, Anthony West, good ride from him, Johan Stiggerfeldt. Brendan Clark, Barry Venaham and Sean Geronimi, who's qualified the Peyton. Good old Sean.
And that's the first time the Peyton has been qualified this year, and it took an Australian to do it.
There you go. There's Czech Republic, just to the southeast of Prague. Circuit, purpose-built for bikes. Beautiful, great place. Fantastic people there. Circuit's got massive runoff everywhere, and as I say, it's absolutely purpose-built for bikes. great place to be, great people, and produces really good racing.
32 Grand Prix have been held here. The current circuit first used in 1987. Of course, the longer, older circuit was used for many years before that. 22 laps of 5.4 Ks. The average speed here, 158 kilometres an hour. Alex Creville held the lap record at 2.3. That was from 1998. Of course, Biaggi, that man there, shattered it in that Friday session. And 13 other riders, in fact, beat that time on the Saturday.
I reckon we can be in for a good race tonight, Bill. You know, it's there's a real keen sort of whoever gets this one out of Biaggi and Rossi, it's going to be very, very important, because if Biaggi can nail this one to the floor, then it's going to be a real morale booster for the Yamaha team and Biaggi. So I think we're going to be in for a really good race. I reckon you'll see Capirossi going good. Any kind of luck if Van Gerber gets off the line, can stay with him for a lap, you're going to see him going good, because the 3 cylinders are an ideal sort of bike around here, because it's light, change of direction and that. So I think you can see a really close race tonight, and if I'm wrong, I'll be really surprised.
And on the subject of warming up, we hope Daryl Beattie is cheering up, and on behalf of the entire crew, all the best to Dazza as he recovers from a crash in the Australian Safari that made headlines across the world, and I don't exaggerate. If you look at the Grand Prix website, it was a major story on that.
Poor old Daz has done his shoulder, had an operation, he's feeling a bit average, isn't he?
Yep, we hope Laura's looking after him. I'm sure she's doing everything in her power to make his life as comfortable as possible. I'm referring to his lovely wife, of course, and we'll get back to the action here and have a listen, as I'm sure Daryl is sitting up and watching with us. If he's not got something better to do.
Oh, shut.
There's the Red Army and the Yellow Army again, and Biaggi obviously has been rallying the troops in the off-season.
Quite true.
They certainly weren't evident at other circuits, Baz. The yellow supporters of Valentino Rossi certainly have, but now there's been some... although Max has been making such a good impression in the last few months that perhaps that's why he's rallying.
He was in really good spirits at Donington, I have to say. He was like a sort of changed person. He was good fun to talk to and that, and yeah. So it's good, it's great. I mean, a good, healthy bit of competition between the two guys. It's got a massive amount of press in Italy. It has a lot of press in the UK. Valentino Rossi now is an honorary Londoner, lives in Knightsbridge, and you know, you can thank Valentino for part of the big crowd at Donington Park. You know, he's a great young guy, and it's good for the sport.
So many riders within a certain time. In fact,
let's hope Gazza goes good tonight.
Between the 2 minutes and 0.3 seconds of Biaggi, and then you go down to, well, there's less than a second between the top 6 riders, but there's not much else in it either beyond that. So it should be a red-hot race.
It is pretty red hot as well, Bill. The track temperature will be about 44 degrees now, ambient temperature around 34.
Beautiful conditions for supporters, tough for the riders, and a lot of tension. A couple of rounds back, the pressure was firmly on Max Biaggi. Now he's swung it a little bit onto Valentino Rossi. We're waiting now for the lights to go out. There's Gary McCoy ambling up to number 5 position on the grid. Let's hope he gets a good start. There's the points to refresh your memory. Only 10 between the top 2, but watch out for McCoy coming back from injury. He will be the man to get amongst them in the final rounds of this championship. We're on red, and now we're away. Good start from Biaggi. Rossi a little bit tidy. Roberts got a good shot from the second row too. Kenny's been pretty quick here all weekend, and in fact has shot through to the lead. Remarkable start for the Suzuki and the defending world champion Kenny Roberts. Biaggi is prominent as well. Rossi drifted back though. He's in 5th place. Not as bad a start as we've seen before.
Well, we've seen Roberts do this before, where he stays up the front for sort of 7 or 8 laps and then disappears backwards. So let's take him out of the equation for the time being and say that Biaggi's up there. Rossi didn't get a bad start. So all in all, Rossi up in the 3rd. All in all, pretty good start for the guys to be reckoned with.
So it's Roberts from Biaggi, Rossi 3rd, Arbe's there, Jürgen van der Gorburg, who planted the Medinas KR3 on the front row for the first time this year for the Kenny Roberts senior team, has drifted back a little bit, and we really, to be blunt, don't expect him to be as competitive when it comes to the race itself. But nevertheless, a terrific effort from Jürgen. He's a good rider. And he's proved before that he can be very, very quick, but race pace is what it's all about here.
Yeah, and to keep that pace up for the whole time. You know, maybe he might be able to keep it up for 4 or 5 laps, but it's massive sort of mental and physical stress on you to be able to do it. Right now, where's Gary? Let's have a look.
He had a pretty slow start.
Yeah,
He's back in about
bad
an 8th or 9th position.
Yeah.
And they trundle down the hill here. Some not too dramatic undulations, but just a very interesting circuit that's well liked by the riders at Brno. That's Norrie Hager on bike 41 ahead of bike 19.
Yeah, it's Olivier Jacques. Jacques is back.
It's a pretty slow start from Olivier Jacques as well.
Yeah.
And there, as we run through the placings, we see McCoy in 10th.
No, it looks like Capirossi just getting past Van Goorburg there, is it? Yes, nearly, almost nearly, but not quite.
Pons bikes have been
it's a bit close.
formidable at times, but at other times ineffective. It's been a funny year for that team.
Yeah, it has. You know, they just Creville coming up there. Yeah, it's, they didn't get the right bits to start with. So Sido Pons told me, and he was saying that unless they get the right tackle from the word go next year, then they're going to start thinking about changing makes.
During the mid-season break, the Pulse team collapsed. Jay Vincent has gone to 250s. You'll see him in action
wide.
later.
Look at Capirossi. Wow, is that Capirossi? Just so leaving it.
Mark Willis of Australia still without a ride. We wish him all the best, and he's too good to really be left out of calculations, and we hope he'll join either this or the Superbike World Championship in the future.
It's so sad for Mark. You know, hasn't been paid by that team, and I think that's a really rubbish thing to do to him, and it's really unfair. Really good guy. You know, he's put his heart and soul into it, given the team as much publicity as he could, and he hasn't been paid at all, so I think that's pretty tacky.
Roberts from Biaggi, a gap to Rossi. Great scrap here, back further in the field. Checo we're looking at.
Looks as if Capirossi's struggling a bit. He's running wide everywhere. As to whether he may have plumped.
Biaggi through to the lead.
There he goes. Yeah, maybe Capirossi run wide and let Biaggi's run wide and let Roberts back through again. Yeah, I think you'll find that Capirossi may have gone for a harder compound, looks like a front tyre, because he's running wide everywhere and he really seems to be struggling to keep it in. You see him back there at the middle of that group. So if suddenly Capirossi starts to go about half distance of the race, then you'll know he did have harder compound tyres on, because he's certainly struggling at the moment.
Here's the pass from Biaggi on Roberts, and then
now you see him just sticker in on the inside, so he's got a real tight line. So you get to miss the apex of the corner, which he did. There he goes, and Roberts just tucks her in and goes on the inside.
And Biaggi back in the lead now. He was all over the back of Kenny when we went to that replay. Rossi seems to have shaken off Arbe and is looking to join them. So is it going to be the familiar story with Kenny Roberts? Warren Willing, the Australian technical manager in that team, was absolutely in despair across the weekend, even though Kenny had recorded some pretty slick times and stuck it into 6th on the grid after being on the front row in Friday qualifying. Warren Willing said they just do not know what is going on. They seem to be going round in circles with setup, and in terms of actual speed, they do not know where the power has gone. Here's another look at the latest Biaggi pass on Roberts, and Rossi, you'll notice in the background, is getting away from Arbe and looks to be joining his arch rival pretty soon. Creville in the distance there ahead of Checo.
Yeah, really not going bad at all.
Creville, the only current rider besides Max Biaggi to win here on a 500. He beat Mick in 1996 by .002. That's 2,000.
Brilliant race. Can you remember it? That
yep.
was really good.
Still the closest ever finish in this class, incidentally. And Biaggi's record here, well, 6 victories says it all, and 4 of those were on a 250, 2 on a 500.
I think you'll find it was a real surprise for Mick as well that day. It was brilliant. It's a very good ride.
Incidentally, one of Biaggi's wins on a 500 was also almost as memorable as that race between Alex and Mick, was when he did the wheelie in 1998. That shot went into so many highlight reels. Max almost coming unstuck as he crossed the finish line with one that got away. Well, just about got away anyway.
He did a brilliant job to save it, I tell you. That was incredible.
Well, Kenny has not yet relinquished his position, but Valentino Rossi is closing in on the world champion. And they have got away now. Maybe Alex Creville, it's hard to tell from the shots we're getting, but maybe Alex Creville is picking up Norik Arbe as well and bringing Checker with him and a whole bunch of others.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I have to say, this early into the race, I'm surprised it's not a lot closer.
Gary McCoy up to 8th position. You might recall he was 10th earlier on, so he's picking his way forward. Remember, Gary is capable of this, depending on tyre choice and running that 16.5-inch rear. There he is on the Red Bull bike, number 5, just behind Checker. So he's looking quite menacing, Gary, and a long way to go in this race. Not a bad run either from bike 11 back there. Toru Wakawa finished top 5 in 5 starts here in a 250, and he was on the podium for the last 2 years, so he must like the circuit a little bit. Well, the field looked like it was breaking up, but I'm not so sure, Baz. Biaggi in the lead.
Just have a listen. Good one, Gary. Yeah, that gives you a good idea on a 500 how you don't sort of give it a big handful. You can hear him just easing the power on and then leaves the back end of Gary's bike losing traction there. Yeah, you ease the power on, you change direction, you sort of ease it on again. Gary really spinning the back end of his thing. You see it there, Bill.
Actually, talking about easing the power on during the mid-season break, there was quite a bit of testing. A few teams tested at Mugello. Yamaha had a very successful test here. They were just spot on. Let's have a look again. This is Creville and Checker, but Gary McCoy up the inside of Checker. This is the pass that we saw from Checker's bike a few moments ago that Barry was talking about. But at the Mugello test, Jürgen van der Gorberg and the KR3 bike, they were testing a Big Bang engine in that bike, and they thought it would be a lot easier for Jürgen to ride, and it was, but the fact is they had terrible top-end loss of power, so they had all sorts of setup problems after that test at Mugello. Obviously, they found some power and some speed because he qualified on the front row, but just goes to show that they're constantly looking for ways to make the bike easier to handle, and certainly Yamaha's done that better than anyone else this year.
The Yamaha is a really good package, no doubt.
By contrast, Valentino Rossi said he was having all sorts of front-end problems on the Friday, but then obviously fixed those on Saturday. So they've been chasing setup a bit, the Nastro Azzurro Honda team, but he's looking good now as he goes through on Kenny Roberts. Well, could that be
beginning of
next
the
world
end.
champion taking former world champion? Well, Biaggi will have something to say about that, but anyway, we're in for a great battle here. Arbe has drifted back into the distance, and Creville and Checker and company and Gary McCoy, in fact, may be picking up on Arbe, but I'm not so sure they're gaining time on these three here.
So much for my close race.
Well, at one stage there, it looked like they were sort of all coming together, but it may well have been the fact that Roberts was holding up Rossi, and we may see Rossi and Biaggi clear out now and make this race their own. Can Kenny hang on? Strange season for a defending champion, Kenny Roberts.
There's Jeremy Burgess.
Plotting a victory for Valentino Rossi. Will be joining that Australian team in a couple of weeks over in Estoril, Portugal.
See the back end of Rossi's thing just sort of spinning a bit when he's getting on the power. You hear the thing spinning, Bill.
He's getting away from Kenny too. I mean, there's that was the big thing. Interestingly enough, they worked on chassis and shocks in the Mugello test. Suzuki, they were one of the teams that were there and did not muck around with the engine. Just chassis and shocks as Valentino closes in on Biaggi. There's Norik Arbe. In the distance here is Creville and Gary McCoy. We have a bit of a race on our hands here at Brno. The Grand Prix bikes are back, and so will we. Return after this break. Stay with us.
How would you describe yourself? A, the outdoors type. B, sporty. C, indoors. D, bookish.
Bookish.
E, all of the above.
Outdoors stroke sporty. Indoors stroke outdoors. invites you to share the lives of 8 irresistible friends.
It's all my fault, Alex. I just like being with you.
A new series that doesn't just mirror life, it makes you feel every moment.
Have you been sleeping with someone else?
Don't. You'll never look at relationships the same way again. Barina presents The Secret Life of Us, 9:30 Monday.
The Princess Margaret Hospital Foundation presents the Veuve Clicquot Bear by Night Ball. Saturday, September 8 at the Freshwater Bay Yacht Club. Enjoy a night of surprises with an under-the-sea spectacular theme. All proceeds to PMH.
Let's keep Australia's promise. It's our legacy.
Over 100,000 Defence Force widows and children rely on Legacy all year round. For just one day of the year, Legacy relies on you. Friday, September 7 is Legacy Badge Day. Please buy a badge and pass on our legacy of care.
It's our legacy.
Grand Final fever has hit Perth. The Smarter Than Smoking Hot30.com Rocker Set for Challenge Grand Final live at the Perth Entertainment Centre September 14. For tickets, call 136 100. A 100% drug-free experience.
The National Australia Day Council invites young people living in Western Australia under 27 years of age to nominate for the Young Australian of the Year Awards in the following categories: the Midland Brick Arts Award, the Refreshing WA Water Sports Award, the Pacific Access Community Service Award, the Unilever Environment Award, the Western Power Science and Technology Award, the Commonwealth Minister for Youth Affairs Career Achievement Award, and the Federal Government's Regional Initiative Award. Category winners will each receive a $2,000 award saver account from the Commonwealth Bank. The Young Achiever for WA will receive a further $2,000 and a holiday package courtesy of Qantas and the Hyatt Regency Perth. Nomination forms are available from the National Australia Day Council, Network 10, any Commonwealth Bank and the Sunday Times. The National Australia Day Council's Young Australian of the Year Awards, proudly presented by Network 10, the Commonwealth Bank and the Sunday Times.
Valentino Rossi chasing race leader Max Biaggi. This is the Czech Republic Grand Prix. Honda has won 7 of 13 races at the current circuit. Yamaha 5, Suzuki 1. And that was about a decade ago. In fact, more than that.
Suzuki team there. You'd have to say that Suzuki have lost their direction as a Grand Prix team more than any other factory. I know because I've been there. I know Beatty knows because he's been there. Schwantz knows because he's been there. It's they really have lost the plot on so many occasions. It's not funny anymore.
Must be frustrating for Kenny Roberts. There has been talk, although not lately, but there was talk this year about Kenny maybe leaving the team at the end of the season. But that hasn't been recent talk.
Can't quite see he'd be struggling for his services, to be quite honest.
I'll tell you what, some of these teams could do a lot worse than give Mark Willis a run, that's for sure.
I took the words out of my mouth. Why Mark Willis hasn't got a decent ride, I don't know. Why somebody in the World Superbike doesn't give Mark Willis a good ride. What the World Superbike people should remember, well, they probably don't even know, that Mark used to beat Troy Bayliss on the old Air Freight Suzuki. So, you know, he's no slouch, Mark Willis.
Rossi just edging closer to Biaggi here. And this is what those parallel lines of fans in the stands wanted to see.
It's what we all want to see.
This is building up to one of the great championships in Grand Prix racing, and fitting too, given the transition to allow the new four-stroke bikes in next season. The 500s will still be around.
I still can't believe, Bill, there's another 6 races after this, isn't there?
Yes, and a lot can happen, of course. We're really pumping up the Rossi-Biaggi rivalry, as we should. It's hard to see anyone else buying into the equation, despite the fact that we have a lot of racing left. I mean, Capirossi was screaming out to be considered a legitimate challenger earlier in the season. That hasn't really
But no one
panned
is
out.
consistently as good as these two.
Quite right. It's It's been a strange season in that way because these two have dominated both qualifying and the podium finishes. There's been quite a variety of other riders sneak onto the podium occasionally. Arbe's been there once. Barros has been there twice. Looking further down the order, Checker's been there twice. I mentioned that. Runner-up to Max. Creville's been there once. McCoy's been there once, first round. Nakano's been there once. And Toru Okawa had a third place at Fakisa. That's, of course, the South African round. But apart from that, we have Biaggi, 7 podiums. Rossi, 7 podiums. So this is where it all happens in 2001.
I have to say that McCoy, had he not have broken his scaphoid bone in his wrist, would have definitely been the biggest competition to Max and Valentino. In my opinion, I could be wrong, but it's just, you know, the way it was shaping up, Gary was definitely going to be the man.
Well, the Yamaha's obviously not a bad bike, and Red Bull are getting a fair chunk of factory support, and it certainly makes sense. And Gary had been riding so well. Lost a little bit of confidence after the fall in the second round, and that resulted in a 9th at Erez. He never really got a chance to get momentum back. Of course, the practice crash came in the 4th round at Le Mans. So
Valentino's starting to have a bit of a go now, Bill.
Yes, it's quite remarkable how this race is panning out. Nobody seems to be able to run with these two riders, and qualifying indicated that. And that's part of the interest here in this championship, because you recall the days of Mick Doohan, and Mick was saying that, you know, you don't muck about in qualifying and practice. You get out there and you do good times, you set up the bike, and you also take the opportunity to just intimidate your opposition, show them what you've got, maybe dishearten them a little bit. And certainly Biaggi did that on Friday by whacking down that amazing record time. Rossi responded after struggling, and it's just ongoing. It's constant across the weekend, and to actually get to the circuit, as you've done already this year, Baz, and we will next in the next couple of weeks at Estoril, to get there on the circuit and feel the atmosphere of this ongoing battle must be terrific.
No, it's really good, no doubt.
And look at the gap they've got on the 3rd place rider.
I shouldn't have said I thought it was going to be a close race. Running wide, yeah, Max went in there a little bit deep, or maybe lost the front end a little bit, and ended up running wide and losing a bit of ground to Valentino there.
Kenny still 3rd, back in the distance there. We caught a glimpse. But now it's 14 laps still to run.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Now, what will happen here? Will Rossi just sit back and have a look at him? He looks like he's in pretty good shape. The Honda doesn't seem too bad. Will he go past? And
I think you'll find that what you do in that situation is, right, he's caught him up. Okay, you have a real good go for a couple of laps to see what, okay, if you can get past him, you have a real good go for a couple of laps to see how much you can pull out. If you can't pull anything out, then get back with him, maybe drop behind him again and wait until the last 2 or 3 laps. And that's usually the modus operandi of either Max or Valentino, because really all you're doing by trying to sort of get away, struggling to get away, is knackering yourself, your tyres, everything that you want to be in good shape at the end of it is knackered, including yourself. So the best thing to do is just to, you know, if you can get away, but if you can't, just follow and have a go at the end.
After the tests at this circuit, Max went for a holiday in the United States. Carlos Checa went to the Pyrenees for his holiday. Nice R&R.
Oh, Van Gogh. He was saying he lost 10 or 20 times something, but I didn't get what it was.
That's a shame. The development of that KR3 has been ongoing for a few years now and never really reaching top level. Now, Roberts is under threat there from a rider. We're not sure it's Arbe again, is it? So Arbe has come back into it, as he tends to do.
Yeah, and also Creville and all that lot behind are catching Roberts now.
Could be a great battle here for 3rd place. Here's Rossi.
Valentino.
Well, you can see the effect of the braking there as they sweep into this left-hander. Biaggi just shot away momentarily. Rossi might just well be playing Kato with Max at the moment. Referring, of course, to the 250 rider who has toyed with his opposition a couple of times this year in that fashion. Looked like he was struggling and then blew past them on the final lap. Incidentally, that is a terrific battle ensuing. Kato coming up later in this program. Greg Rust will bring you that call with Barry. And the 125s, don't miss them either. Brilliant contest there. Three quite different categories this year. We see the duel between these two guys in the 500s. Kato, well, until recent rounds where he's looked a little bit vulnerable, has made it a one-man show in the 250s. And, of course, the 125s, well, they're all over the place. And some marvellous racing there. It's 7 different winners in the round so far. So quite different complexions on these various categories, and who knows where these categories will end up with the introduction of 4-stroke bikes next year. There was some talk about 125s and 250s being under threat. There really there's been no declaration at all about the future of those categories.
Biaggi looks like he was having a bit of a go for the last lap. Oh boy, that's Haslam.
Well, a tough weekend just got tougher.
Yeah, it's looked like Biaggi was having a bit of a go, and I believe he was, because he pulled out a bit of ground and then had a look over his shoulder. So if that's the case, if that was Max's go, you'll find that he'll knock it on the head now and just sort of keep, if he can, just stay marginally in front of Valentino and then have a go towards the end of it.
Gary McCoy's dropped back a bit. He did say he had fully recovered in the brake, Baz, but he still felt like he wasn't quite 100%.
Yeah, you know, there's no way of staying fit like racing a bike. You know, basically you can do all the training in the world for it, but, you know, the only way to get race fit is race.
The best shot of Gary McCoy approaching a corner is the head-on shot, no doubt. You can see that thing sliding out. Still Biaggi from Rossi.
They're just head and shoulders above the rest at the moment, aren't they? No doubt.
Rossi scored his first Grand Prix victory here from pole position in 1996. He's still so young, but he's been around such a long time. That was on a 125, of course. He won on a 250 here in 1999, and, excuse me, like many of the circuits in the championship, Rossi is looking to make it a win in each class. If he was feeling any ill effects from that daunting Suzuka 8-hour victory with Colin Edwards, then he's recovered now. The heat haze at Brno.
It's pretty high temperature there, really. You know, 33 in Europe can get pretty muggy, but the track temperature is very high, sort of mid-40s. That is really high. Hard work for the tyres.
Biaggi said he loves this circuit because there's Jeremy Burgess, the Australian mastermind in the Rossi team. Biaggi was saying you can take different lines on each corner and still maintain your speed. He said that's a big factor here, maintaining corner speed, but he said the track surface is generally good. The bike is often sideways and it's a positive camber all the way round. He really likes it.
It's quite strange, actually, because there's not many circuits where you can run offline, and I've seen quite a few guys run offline, go onto the grey, and still not losing any time. Right, Creville's going to be past Roberts soon.
Could well be Alex Creville's second podium finish this year. He was very, very happy about the previous one, which incidentally was way back in round 3 at Erez. And that was a popular result at the time, but he thought it might have been a turning point in the season. After that, he finished 5th at Le Mans and then 4th at Mugello. So it looked like he'd turned the corner, but then he had an 11th at Catalunya and he didn't finish at Assen. He was back to 7th at Donington, but then he was injured and couldn't start the race at Sachsenring. So another sort of scrambly, difficult season for Creville.
A season well worth forgetting about.
And you wonder what the future holds. He has signed for another year, I think, with Repsol Honda. That's in the bag, but he'll have to look at some way of stepping up if he wants to be a contender again. Whether it's the bike or himself, that's a big question. Look at Arbe. He looked like he was dropping back. Now he's a clear third. Greville through and will now set out in pursuit of Norikabe. Honda versus Yamaha. And that team has not tasted success for quite a while. Boy,
really.
Oh boy.
No, they really have had a lean time of late, haven't they? Well.
Still, Rossi unable or not willing to go past Max Biaggi in this race. 10 laps to go. I wonder if Max is of the mind to let Valentino through and have a look at him.
I don't know. It's hard to say. I can't suss it at the moment. It's right. Biaggi's having another go now. He's really got it. It's having a go. So we'll see if he pulls out much in the next couple of laps. Much or if anything.
Which bike do you think is looking better on the track, Baz?
Yeah, I'd say the Yamaha. You know, I really do. I think the way the Yamaha is this year is really a nice setup. You know, it's as I said before, you know, if you said which one do you want, I'd still have the Yamaha. It looks as if the Honda is more of a struggle to ride, and especially to change direction on it. It looks like the Honda wants to run wide, whereas the Yamaha, you can tuck it up the inside, a la McCoy earlier on. So
the Yamaha certainly looks like it did at Sachsenring, just a very, very smooth unit.
Yeah, it does, looks like.
Oh, well, as we said that, can you believe it?
That would have to be the front end, I would say, if we get a replay of that.
Well,
because it just went so quick and so unexpected. I mean, it just did not look as if that deserved to happen. I have to be quite watched now. Chattering on the front. Yeah. I just caught a glimpse. If you got a video at home, it's on the video. It looks like it started chattering on the front. If you just watch it, it goes duh, and then he loses the front. So I think you'll find it was front end chatter.
Well, he's back on the circuit, Max. There'll be all sorts of muck on that bike.
Yeah, there will. But
I wonder how well it's going to ride now. And Valentino Rossi really cannot lose from here. There is no pressure.
No. That was bad luck for Biaggi because he didn't go howling in there at a rapid rate of knots and just sort of, if you look at it, you'll see the front end just and he lost it. Let's see who's dropped down to now. So it's Abisai is second, Alex is third, Roberts fourth, Caparossi fifth, Gary sixth, Sukawa seventh, Checker eighth, Givernau and Barros.
Well, this could be the turning point in the championship. 11th, Max Biaggi, so he's looking at a point-scoring finish. We'll go to a break and see just what Max Biaggi can salvage from this event as the Red Army goes silent. The Yellow Army is getting set for a big celebration.
Collecting your neighbour's paper and mail while they're away is one way of making your neighbourhood safer. And that's what Neighbourhood Watch is all about.
Growing. Working. Relaxing. Communicating. Whatever you want to do, it's never too late to learn. Ask for a hand now. Call the Reading Writing Hotline on 1300 655 506.
I'm Michael Devaney. I was riddled with cancer and given only 6 months to live. Now I'm in remission after an experimental treatment being tested by the Queensland Institute of Medical Research Life Lab. This research treatment is terribly expensive, and the cancer scientists need money urgently to further develop this treatment. Make a difference. Donate $2 for every extra year you'd like to live.
There's a time when we could all really use another pair of hands, and for Australia, that time's right now.
I'm talking about our Australian land. Luckily, we've already got a team of dedicated Landcare volunteers. For the past 11 years, these individuals and community groups have worked together to improve our environment.
But there's plenty more work to do.
So help me out here. Give Landcare a hand to help save Australia.
Well, were we riding with the world champion out of that break? This is a very, very composed Valentino Rossi and no pressure, really, because look at the gap between himself and Norikabe. That is quite amazing. This is the leading Yamaha after Max Biaggi. Well, you'd have to say he was under a little bit of pressure. Rossi was behind him for many laps, but nevertheless,
I wish they'd give us another replay of that, because just sit, and then he loses the front, and it really didn't. It's complete sort of out of the blue job, because it hadn't done anything like that there before.
Very hard to fathom. Creville now in third place.
And Roberts down to 6.
Yeah, Caparossi's moved up in a hurry. Gary McCoy, I think, might be the next bike on the circuit. He is. He's gone past Roberts. 8 laps left now, and Akawa looks like he's going to go past Roberts as well. So, yes, straight line speed, too much Honda versus Suzuki. And Kenny must be getting absolutely sick of this.
Well, it's really quite strange, because Gibernau is not, Gibernau's catching him up now. I don't understand it. As we said before, Kenny was preempting the fact the bike wasn't going to be competitive back in November last year.
Alex there doing a bit of a McCoy. Let's have another look at Max.
Right, now just watch the front forks. Oh, you can't see it from it. That's onboard stuff. So if we get another shot of it at all, just look at the front forks, and you'll see it start to patter up and down. You see the front end of that bike there? That's exactly what Max's bike did, but the handlebars just turned in, and he lost the front end. That's what you call chattering, when the front forks bounce up and down like that.
Well, it's certainly played into Valentino's hands, reminding you he already has a 10-point lead in the championship, and he will go further away here. Now, Biaggi, we saw he was 11th on the track, but he had a lot of time to make up. Let's have another look at Biaggi here as we look at Abe now.
Right, front forks, watch. I
think there was a chatter just as we came into that
it definitely
shot.
is chattering, and it does. Chatters, the front end turns in, and
he did very well to pick it up.
Well, he did. I mean, it was lucky that the bike didn't go in over end, and it was good that he was up and on the ball, and it could have done all kinds of things. Could have broken the gear lever off of it. It could have broken the clutch lever off it. It could have broken the handlebar off it, but I'm glad it didn't.
Let's hope he hasn't limped back to the pits, because 11th position is still a few points in the championship.
There's no way that he will stop unless the bike breaks down, because he knows that 1 point at the end of the year can make all the difference.
There's his teammate, Carlos Checa, out there. Roberts. Well, I wonder what that's all about. He was going backwards, but he's done that a lot this year. I wonder if he's just had enough.
Yep, I would say so. I think it probably cuts both ways.
It must be heartbreaking to be up the front and just go steadily backwards. Now Valentino is just so far in front, and he's not the kind of rider to let this go. There's the split, nearly 7 seconds on Abe.
It's not a massive amount. I mean, it really isn't a massive amount in front of him, but it's enough to be able to ride around and think, this is good.
Arbe needs a second a lap, basically. Biaggi still in 11th, and if you look at those splits, he was about a second and a half, maybe a second and 3/4 behind the next rider. So there's a chance, but you don't know what's wrong with Max's bike either. It might not be handling well.
Well, you just don't know. The difficult thing is that, you know, you've got carbon fibre discs and all that kind of stuff. You don't know. You think the disc could get a whack on the curve going, but as it goes across the curve, you don't know. I mean, it's just, you know, you get back on the thing, you think, oh boy, I hope nothing's broken, because by the time you get to find out it is, it's too late.
It certainly has turned this event into an anti-climax. Make no mistake. Arbe there.
Yeah, Caparossi's catching Creville now.
This is, remember, this is the battle for podium positions now, more so than before. Arbe second, Creville third, so Caparossi looking to capitalise. McCoy has drifted back there behind them. We're not sure if it's the bike or maybe a little bit of fatigue on Gary's part. He did say, as I said, that he felt in great shape, but then when he qualified, he said, maybe not quite 100% yet. Carlos Checa flying the flag for his team in the absence, or at least the temporary absence of Biaggi, who's somewhere back in the field trying desperately to salvage a few more points here and there. It'll be interesting to see when the next counter comes up, giving the actual positions, whether Max has moved up from 11th to 10th. There he is. Can't see who's in front of him on this shot. But on the splits that we saw earlier, he wasn't that far behind the previous rider. But here is your race leader and certain winner. We talked before the event about the pressure building up, and still with 6 rounds to go. Bit of a release, which has penalised Max Biaggi.
So if he wins this, then what's he going to have? 35 advantage. Because he had a 10-point advantage before.
It won't be 35 if Max can stay in 11th
position. Of course, Max is still running.
A few points, so, but it'll still be a hefty lead. I'd say around the vicinity of 28 points, something like that.
You can have a bit of a muck around now.
Well, look at the distance there. Arbe is just emerging.
Yeah, and Creville is still in front of Caparossi.
This looks like it'll turn into a good contest, though, over the last few laps.
Yeah, Creville's pulling Arbe in middle, looks good.
So battle for second and third we're looking at here. Creville currently third. There's Arbe in second place. Not far to go now in the Czech Republic Grand Prix. Caparossi joining in. Is McCoy a factor? Doubtful at this stage. Looks like it's between those 3 riders. Oh, yes. And in fact, McCoy has lost a position there further back in the field. Quite extraordinary. Loris Caparossi hasn't won here in 10 starts. His best result was a 4th on a 500 in 1995. And that's exactly where he sits at the moment. He's the only rider to finish in the top 10 in all events this year. Let's listen. In a year when his Italian rivals have been very, very consistent. Caparossi's been hampered by an 8th at Suzuka, an 8th at Erez, a 10th at Donington, and then an 8th in the previous round at Sachsenring. He's qualified on the first 2 rows in every round. In fact, he's been on the front row for every round except Le Mans and at Sachsenring. So consistent pace from Caparossi, but the races haven't panned out as he'd like. Still Arbe from Creville and Caparossi.
It's funny with Barros, you know, you talk about Caparossi. Barros is a really good rider, you know, and since he got that trainer guy and got himself fit and that. And then the last few races, he's been definitely a bit lackluster.
Same sort of results too for Barros, just inconsistency. He hasn't qualified as well as Caparossi, but he's had some pretty strange results. He had a DNF at Catalunya. That was a major worry, but he had a 9th in South Africa and an 8th at Le Mans. Last few rounds he's been in the top 5, but certainly not a major threat.
Now 8th. Now where's Biaggi?
Cower in front of McCoy. That was the rider we spoke of earlier. Given now in the top 8. Still no sign of Max.
Wonder how Brendan Clark's going. I wonder how Sean Geronimo's going. Geronimo's going.
Great effort from young Geronimo there.
Great,
He's a
really
concreter from the mid-north coast of New South Wales. Beautiful part of the world, actually. Southwest Rocks. Great place. And if you're watching from Southwest Rocks, you're very lucky to be there. But it's terrific to see Anthony West, Brendan Clark and Sean Geronimo all showing what they can do. Great Australian pedigree up there, joining Gary McCoy, of course, in the ranks. Now, those 3 youngsters not really on competitive bikes. We all know that. But they're giving it their all.
Yeah, I think it's really funny that Ant West got shafted, really, and basically he's doing better than any of the Shell team, isn't he?
So we hope when a new complexion comes over the championship next year that those guys can get some competitive rides. There's Valentino just cruising around. Now, Arbe is under attack here from Alex Creville, who wants to put in his best finish for the season so far, reminding you that 3rd at Erez was his best until this round.
Yeah, he's certainly having a go now, Alex, and he really badly needs a 2nd place. Well, he badly needs a win, you know, but it's going to make him feel a lot better to finish 2nd rather than 3rd.
And confidence is a big factor with Alex, obviously.
Well, it is with everyone, Bill, and you know, a little thing can set you up, you know, for the year, the same as a little thing can set you down for the year.
Caparossi behind them, but not really keeping in touch as we have only 3 laps to go now. It's amazing, isn't it?
Abe.
Yes, his best result here, 5th in 1997 and 1998. In the last couple of years, he crashed.
Yeah, his debut, I think, it was in Suzuka. I'm sure.
Sorry, his debut at this his debut year. I mean, sorry, 1994. That would have been, I think, full time.
Oh, I see.
On the circuit, yeah.
Laying down the old black lines now. The tyre's starting to spin.
Well, Caparossi's closed up a little bit.
Yeah, he has
too.
He has. That's why I was looking at Caparossi laying the old black lines.
2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Here is the man who has. Well, you can argue that he would have won the race anyway, but he certainly has inherited a massive lead, Valentino Rossi.
It certainly gets a weight off your shoulders when your competition floats out into the dirt like that, you know, when you're trying as hard as you can try. But the thing that it does do is take away, it relieves the boredom when you're racing around with someone. Well, I know it sounds stupid, I don't mean boredom, but it makes the race seem so long when you're riding around on your own. Whereas if you're having a real tussle with somebody, what is a 30-lap race and seem like a 5-lap sprint. But if you're riding around on your own, yeah, good one, Creville. Riding around on your own, then it makes 10 laps seem like 100.
Yeah, the race finishes all too quickly when you're running 2nd and trying to catch somebody, isn't it?
They're pulling back a little bit on Valentino. Abe got back on Creville there, I believe. And, oh, look at that.
Oh, Caparossi. 2 in 1
nice
corner.
One, nice one. Yeah, no, he's gone wide there. But yes, he hasn't. That was good.
Yes, we have no bananas.
Yeah.
But Creville is still in 2nd place. Suddenly Abe back to 4th. Biaggi, incidentally, is 10th. I can tell you that much. And Anthony West, 18th. But Alex Creville, 2nd now. This would be his best finish of the season. And Loris Caparossi sneaking up. Here's another look at that shuffle.
This is from a different angle. Well, this will be a good one for Honda. If it ends up the way it is, it'll be top 3 Honda. That hasn't happened for a while.
Not this year, as far as I can recall. Having said that, I'm desperately looking back at the records, and I tell a lie, because in Fakisa in South Africa, they finished 1, 2, 3.
Oh, right.
Rossi, Caparossi, and Akawa. So there you go. How soon we forget. But that was their only all Honda finish this year, on the podium, that is. So It's great to see Alex back in shape. That's one thing. And Rossi with a bigger championship lead, and Biaggi, I wonder what that will do to his confidence. So a lot of questions being raised after this round of Brno.
I don't think it'll hurt his confidence. I just think that he'll think, well, I really didn't deserve that, which he wasn't flinging it in there all locked up on the front end or anything. It just, it didn't. It was a big surprise to him and everybody else, I would think.
You only have to wonder if you look back from the end of the season, if Max will think about Donington, where he qualified on pole and Rossi beat him from 11th on the grid.
That was a ride and a half of Rossi's at Donington. That was incredible.
Do you remember those rounds, or do you remember the rounds where you're in front and suddenly for some reason you lose it?
Yes.
Oh,
slider, no, gone wide. Well, that's Alex is going. Oh, Alex, I don't know what he did then, Alex. He's running very tight on the curb.
If they're not careful, Norrie will slip up.
Yeah,
both
exactly.
Of them. A great contest here for the minor placings. Rossi's just running away with this race. Pretty soon he'll cross the finish line. He's that far in front, but Alex Creville hanging on to his best result. Caparossi wanting to deny him so desperately. Caparossi's had a couple of second placings this year, and he's had a couple of thirds as well. And here is Valentino Rossi. He will assume control of the championship again. These guys are all over the shop as they struggle for the crumbs. Looks like Creville is just wanting it a little bit more and managing to control his bike a little bit better. And Caparossi there trying to keep Abe off the podium. Valentino here, of course, drifting back to these three. He knows he has the race in the bag. He's just dropping off his times a little bit to make sure he gets home safely. No problems. But look at this contest.
Caparossi's thing wriggling around.
Abe just hoping for a little slip up here just to make his job that much easier. Can he creep onto the podium for only the second time this season? It's been a long wait too, round 3 at Erez. Here's Rossi out in front. He's let himself drift back to these guys. Creville, Caparossi and Abe, so the order hasn't changed. Gary McCoy still back there in
seems a long lap, this last one.
Here's Abe. Oh, it does seem, doesn't it? Yeah. Caparossi there under attack. Rossi on one wheel takes win number 6. Creville, best result this year, and Caparossi makes up the podium. Gary McCoy 6th behind Toru Okawa. Good result too for him. And Carlos Checa in 7th, whereas Biaggi given our top 8. As Max bitten further into the top 10 and salvaged something from this disastrous race. Here he is with this battered bike heading to the finish line.
9th.
So it'll be, I think, 10th place for Biaggi, yes.
Well, it was definitely worth getting up again, wasn't it?
No doubt.
He fucking got back up again. Fucking 30 points or 31 points.
31 points, you
Well, you heard it from the Australian crew, Gary Coleman and Dick Smart there, as they celebrate the Rossi victory. Wow. Another blow struck, and Rossi back to where he was earlier in the season. The conditions must be warm here at the Czech Republic.
Lost for words, Bill.
Knocked me out. So, a great championship unfolding here. And Rossi is about to be swamped.
Hey, I was going to say he's going to struggle to get back. If he doesn't get away soon, he's going to... Look at all the people on the circuit. I mean, it's...
There's some Biaggi fans in there as well with the Yamaha symbol.
The last thing you want is someone to run out in front of you.
This time last year, the Rossi fan club T-shirts were so hard to get. I wonder if they're still as scarce.
Same as the Bill Woods ones, really.
Yeah, so scarce they don't exist. But the... look at the celebrations. Yeah, they can kiss him as often
that was good. That was good race between these two in the last lap, wasn't it? Really good run.
Great to see Alex Creville back and scrapping for a position and looking good.
Well, it's a shame because a lot of people forget how really fast Creville was. and it'd just be really nice to see him back up there again.
Well, you could argue, and some did, that his World Championship win was still riding on the coattails of Doohan's, development of the bike, but he won a lot of races that year and he won them convincingly.
Absolutely right, absolutely right.
He was a great champion, and this man could well be the champion this year. Valentino Rossi. Another little page turns in the history of this rider. But it's going to be a very thick book, I suspect. We'll be back after this.
She's only 7 years old.
He cut off my foot.
How far would you go to protect her?
You have just declared war on the Department of Children and Family Services. We do family law. We need them. We don't sue them.
Tonight, no other firm puts this much at stake for their clients.
What the hell is going on?
They tried to buy us off. I didn't think I needed to consult with you on whether you took bribes.
No other drama makes you feel this much emotion.
Are you trying to destroy the firm?
Family Law, 8:30 tonight.
Doors Plus are drastically overstocked due to the downturn in the building industry. Thousands of doors must be moved from the warehouse. All Doors Plus stores are under instruction to sell, and sell they must. You will save on a large range of entry doors, bifolds that save you space, French doors to open up your home, add style and value with feature interior doors, entry combinations, the finishing touch to your home. Plus we can fit, stain and deliver. The Doors Plus warehouse clearance sale now on Australia-wide. Doors Plus, no fuss.
Lion gets around him easily and kicks to Lion. Lion marks and gives it off to the running Lion. He spotted Lion on the lead. Lion! Whether you're a fan or fanatic, get into AFL headquarters at Kmart, the biggest seller of official AFL gear. Why do you retire?
Pay peanuts, get monkeys. A power tool for Dad on Father's Day. He deserves the best. Give him Makita. Choose from a range of Father's Day gift packs, each with a value-added bonus. Makita, tough, gutsy, the one he really wants. Workmates, me and my Makita.
Well, Max Biaggi took the early lead and looked to be in command of this race. Valentino Rossi came from the pack and met the challenge. Who would have thought, Barry, that it would turn out
really
with a rather indifferent finish?
I'm really surprised when we get to see Biaggi, well, if we get to see Biaggi fall off, just watch, as soon as you see it, watch the front forks and you'll see the front end of the bike starting to chatter. And this is, I'm assuming that they're going to show it, but if you see the front, as soon as you see the front end of the bike, watch it, and you'll see it chatter, and then that's how he loses the front end. It's quite. Now watch it, just starting there, bang, 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 just as out of shot, and that's all it was. Well, all it was enough, wasn't it? And
did a great job to pick it up.
Yeah, it was just really lucky the bike didn't flip itself over.
Well, let's hear now from the riders. One of them is this man, and the other, of course, is the man on the black bike. Rossi, Gavil, Caparossi.
Okay, then after this 500 race here at Brno, with the 3 men on the podium of the 500 race, and obviously we will start interviewing Valentino Rossi. Vale, good victory, good fight until lap 13, and from then on it must have been much easier, and now your championship lead is extended.
Yes, the championship lead is extended, return at the 35 points, but I think is right, because if I don't crash at Mugello at the last lap, I have 35 points anyway. So return at the right distance. The race was very hard because Biaggi start very fast and try to go, but his setting, his bike is a little bit better than mine. Slide very much, and for him is more easy close the line, close the corner. But I risk at the beginning because I know this is his tactic, and stay with him. And after, unfortunately, he crash. And so I win. Is important for the championship, but it's only one race. I have 6 to the end, and it's necessary to stay concentrated.
Now to the man in second position today, Alex Cribillet. Back to the podium, Alex Cribillet, after a long time without being on the top 3. Second position today for you, and your feeling must be impressive. And also the fight in the final laps, first to catch up to Kenny Roberts and Abe, and finally fighting with Loris must have been interesting.
Yes, since Jerez I couldn't win the podium. In Italy, Mugello, I was very close in right condition, but here, you know, it was a very, very good race. I'm very good. I'm happy, you know, because I think I'm still strong. A little bit older than Rossi, but I think I have the possibility to be in front and to win races. So I'm very, very happy, and also for my team and for the fans.
Okay, thank you. Finally, third position today, making it an old Honda podium for Loris Capirossi. And your fight was to catch up and try to be on the podium, because on the final lap also fighting with Abe. What was your situation? Tell us about it.
You know, I think this race is very hard for everybody, not only for me. But in the beginning of race, my start is not too bad, but Van de Gorber touched me 2 times and go out, and I start again in maybe 7 or 8 position. Every lap I try to catch the front guys, but the last 2 laps I see in front of me Abe and Cribillet. I try before to overtaking Abe, and the last lap also I try to overtake Alex, but I put the first gear and the bike is spinning a lot, and I finish there. But I think it's for me, for the championship, for the team, is very good.
Well, Valentino thinks it's 35, his team thinks it's 31, but in actual fact he's 29 points in front of Maxi, who's in front of Loris Capirossi, from Alex Barros, Abe Nakano, Alex Criville, great ride tonight, and Charlie Checker.
Either way you add it up, it's a great championship. And a lot of world championships on that podium, Baz.
Yeah, really, when you think about it.
125 and 250, Valentino 125 and 250, and Alex Criville 125 and 500. So yeah. A championship-winning combination on the podium, and we're going to see more great racing throughout the season, and indeed in this very telecast, because Greg Rust is about to hop into the seat and take you through all the 125cc action with Barry Sheene, and then, of course, the 250s. From my behalf, hope you've enjoyed the telecast so far, but please stay with us on the other side of the break. Bye for now.
Get ready for our favourite hour of comedy.
Slip into something a little more comfortable, and so will I.
At 7:30, it's Dr. Becker and his strange practice.
I see dead people.
Then at 8 o'clock, Raymond's thinking about the future.
By the way, how much do you get if I die?
800,000.
That was a little fast.
Everybody Loves Raymond, following Becker from 7:30 Tuesday on 10.
My spirit, have I lost you? Where are you? Where did I leave you? In the late hours of work. In the middle of keeping up with the Joneses. Lost in another life. Where are you, my spirit? Wait. There you are. Don't ever leave me again.
gives this Honda Grand Prix bike its competitive edge? Shell Advance Oils, the new wave in racing.
Running a business sure has its ups and downs, like peak times when no matter how many staff you have, it's never enough. But with a Crown on the job, the ups and downs can be handled by one person with ease, and that keeps everybody happy. The remarkable new Walkie Reach truck from Crown, simply a better way to run your business.
Enjoyed it. We'll see you again next time.
There is nothing like a Crown.
Now down the inside, Podjali. He takes the lead. The 8th round. Oh, so close.
Hang on a minute. Where's the UTV?
Can you believe it? Wow.
Well, Daryl Beattie is out injured for this 125 Czech Grand Prix. He's unfortunately had a crash in the Australian Safari. So, Daz, a big g'day to you. You're home watching all the action, and Barry Sheen settling into the commentary box with us. Baz, the battle between the two 18-year-olds, Tony Elias and Manuel Podjali, is right in action here.
Oh, they're incredible. They're going to be champions in the future, no doubt whatsoever. There's Elias on the pole position from Ui, Cecchinello, Simone Sana. Second round of grid is Schmertz, Jenka, Ueda and Tamachi.
There's a lot of local wild cards here which we'll have to keep an eye on. Max Sabatini, Yaroslav Hules from 10. Manuel Podjali, now that's a surprise qualifying performance for him. He's well down on the third row of the grid beside Masao Azuma. The 15-year-old Daniel Petroza lines up alongside Angel Nieto Jr., Mirko Giansani and Arnu Vincent. They are the first 4 rows of the grid.
The great thing about the young guys, especially in the 125 class, is they can qualify 1.5 seconds off the pace or whatever, get a decent start, and they're right up there. It's fantastic. That's what I love about the 125 class. It's so competitive, and so many different guys win it. But you've got to say that Tony Elias is definitely a flavour of the year, isn't he? He's Valentino standing there watching. It's what everybody does. You stand and watch the start to see how the starter does things, and hope that he does it the same when it's your race.
Timely reminder of the championship standings. Look at that, 3 points the difference between Manuel Podjali and Tony Elias, the pole sitter in this one. He's gone from a novice or an apprentice, the headlines are describing him, to a real championship contender. On pole for this one, 19 laps. Keep an eye on the second row as well. Jacob Smers and Gabor Tamalsi, the local riders. Tamalsi is a wild card for this one and has qualified exceptionally well. A 2:09.95, 8th fastest, set for a start. Away we go at Brno, and an excellent start by Yuichi Ui, the Derby rider, just edging his front wheel ahead of Tony Elias. As they head now for the first time, there's a bit of weaving going on in the background, but Baz, everyone seems to have started fairly cleanly. Elias into the lead.
Yeah, 125 class first corner is always a bit of a unmitigated nightmare, but it looks good. Elias in the lead, and Yuichi Ui on the Derby there, and it's fantastic racing this is. You know, it's always so close, and when everybody settles down, you've got great guys like Cecchinello and people like that. Oh dear me, there's a hero going around the outside there.
Certainly someone who has made a shocking start, and that is Manuel Podjali, bike 54, the Gilera rider. He is our championship leader coming into this round. Just a handful of points separate he and Tony Elias. There is the red bike in the background there. He would be sitting at around about 15th position at the moment, so well down in the standings. This is the battle being fought between Yuichi Ui and your race leader and pole sitter, Tony Elias. Point of interest.
Normally what you get first couple of laps of a race is everybody heating their tyres up, sorting themselves out. But the incredible thing about the 125 class is everybody goes flat out from the word go, hardly give their tyres any amount of time to warm up, because the construction of their tyres and that is such they warm up so quickly, 2 corners, and they're basically not up to proper working temperature, but they grip enough not to sort of throw you over the high side.
+2, I guess, if you don't go ballistic on that opening lap, you run the risk of not being able to stay in touch with the guys up front.
That is part of the old circuit. Well, where the old circuit was there, it winds up to the top of the hill and then drop down through the old village of Brno. It's used to be a monster of a place.
Podjali has dropped to 15th position. He started out of 11th. on the Gilera. Tony Elias is your race leader. Let's see if Poggiali has picked up a spot. He looks as though he has. He's moved back up to 12th, so he's moved up 3 positions. He started from 11th. Is 1 further back at the moment, and this is a costly opening lap for him. Elias has made a break here. Gee, he's doing well.
Yeah, it's fantastic. The Spanish newspapers, national newspapers, are full of him. I was out there a couple of months ago, and quite rightly so. I mean, he's a young kid and sensational talent.
One thing about Spain in that sense, Baz, it's a really good point you're making, is that they embrace their motorsport stars, the Carlos Sainz of the world, their bike riders. I mean, it's incredible, isn't it?
You ask any, jump in a cab and ask anybody who's Carlos Sainz is, and they'll say, oh yeah, I know. Ask who Angel Nieto is, and they'll say, yeah, sure, he was 13 times world champion. It's a great thing, and the sport is just so popular out there. Dear me.
That was Simone Sana. He got passed by Yuichi Wee while we were having a bit of a chat there, but that was a nervous moment. Bike 16 it is, and behind him, Cecchinello on the Aprilia. But Tony Elias is doing a terrific job. The 18-year-old who has come on so strong in this championship, particularly in the run-up to the European summer break, Baz. He was right on the pace, and it seems as though he's picked up exactly where he left off.
It's a very bright little kid, he really, his racecraft and everything about him. I watched him quite a lot at Donington and was talking to him, and but
Poggiali!
That was just a major lose on the front there. So hectic, it was a big lose on the front, lost it on the left-hand side, and it sort of slid out and then grabbed and collected it all up. Very lucky to get away with it. So the old heartbeat will be on the rev limiter for a couple of laps, but he's obviously having a lot of trouble on the front end of it. Watch. On the brakes, he bounced. Turned in twice. Houdini. Absolutely so lucky to get out of that. He was on the brakes going into the corner, and you saw he lost it once, straightened it up, and lost it again. And good save, very good save.
He's battling away there with Daniel Petroza by the looks of it, the 15-year-old, and possibly Stefano Perugini on the Idle Jet. But I'm just wondering, given that he qualified further back than we're so typically used to seeing him, if he's got some sort of drama with the bike.
Well, yeah, he's obviously struggling. The funny thing about it is, though, really, that the Gilera is the same bike as the Derby. It's exactly the same thing with a different label on it. So you would think if Ui's up there without any problems, then Poggiali's going to do the same thing. But it's been reversed. We've seen Ui back there and Poggiali up there. So I honestly don't know.
Steve Yankner's made some good progress on the Aprilia from 6th position on the second row for the start of the race. He's now up into 4th. Jacob Smers, so the local
fastest
rider
lap.
turning a quick one. Yep. A 2:09.97. Now, pole was taken here by Tony Elias in a 2:09.06. So around about 9/10 of a second off the pace at the moment. But impressive times being set by these riders. A point that really grabbed me, Baz, is that the average speed, when you look at the lap records in the 125 class, a 2:09.41 is the lap record held around here by Yuichi Wee, in fact. But they're averaging around about 150 kilometres an hour around the circuit. You look at that by comparison of 500, which we've just seen, 158k an hour or thereabouts. It's only an 8 kilometre an hour difference. They have very fast average speeds here.
Yeah, quite incredible when you think about it. It's their little 125s, they develop sort of 60 horsepower now. I mean, it's a massive amount of horsepower. When I used to race a 125, it produced 32, 33 horsepower. Twice as much horsepower.
Incredible by comparison to a 500 when you consider that it's a quarter of the capacity.
And the reality is, Greg, that say with the Yamaha and the Honda, the actual cylinder is one cylinder off of a 500, really. It's a test bench for a 500. He does look, body language-wise, Poggiali, like he's struggling, like he's screwed every ounce out of the thing, but it's a real struggle.
Simone Sana has managed to pull clear of Yuichi Wee, who's battling away there in 3rd with Yankner, who's really hounding him, in fact. The black bike number 17. Then there's look at that, a real freight train of bikes there.
That's Cecchinello there, number 9.
Yep, he's waiting for an opportunity to present itself.
He's a good racecraft guy, Cecchinello. Really, a lot of experience now, relative to, say, Elias. and really pretty clued up guys. Nobby Ueda's teammate for quite a long time.
If you were to look at a form guide at the beginning of the championship, most people would say that 2001 really must be Uichi Ui's year.
Yeah, you would say so, wouldn't you?
But Poggiali and young Tony Elias have certainly changed that, haven't they? Good one there by Max Sabatania, 2:09.90. It's around about half a second shy of the lap record around on the Brno circuit, but they are gradually chipping away at those times. This championship, as we mentioned at the head of the 125 race, is really becoming a battle between the 18-year-olds. Poggiali of San Marino riding the Gilera. He's down the order at the moment. We'll see how he progresses during the race. 3 points in it in the championship over Tony Elias, who is our race leader. So we may see a change in the lead of the championship tonight, but the battle behind those two guys is, I guess, equally as exciting, because there's just 22 points separating the next 6 riders, who are Masao Azuma, Cecchinello, who we can see on bike 9, battling away there. Uichi Ui as well, 41. Nobby Ueda and Simone Sana, who's doing an excellent job at the moment in second position on bike 16.
You talk about form. What about Azuma a couple of years ago? I mean, he was just right at it, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was going to win the World Championship, won how many races in a row, got a load, and then sort of really went down the pan.
It's quite incredible how the fortunes can fluctuate at the moment. They favour Tony Elias on bike 24. The Telefonica Movistar Honda certainly seems to be well set up, and he is riding with loads of confidence. The bike looks excellent, Baz.
Yeah, it does. There's some, as I say, the one that really is struggling is Poggiali. He looks totally unhappy on the bike, but in contrast, Elias, there's Alberto Puig there. If you saw Alberto's leg, he has got the worst injury you've ever seen in your life. It makes Mick's legs look pretty much okay.
Well, I guess he can, at the moment, be happy in the success of his rider, who's done very well in the latter stages of the run up to the European summer break, and he's, as we mentioned a little earlier, settled straight back into it. He leads, change of position in second there. Uichi Ui has gotten around Simone Sana, and Sana under pressure from Cecchinello. And then it's bike 17, Steve Yenkner, who remains on the pace. He's dropped from 4th to 5th.
The nice thing about the 125s to ride them is that now they're proper motorbikes. When I say they're proper motorbikes, the frames are really strong, the brakes are brilliant and that. And they don't tend to shake as much as, well, don't shake anywhere near as much as a 500, and they shake a lot less than a 250, because they just about got perfect amount of power that is not easy to ride by any stretch of the imagination, but it's good in that when you come out of a corner, you accelerate, it doesn't tend to lift the wheel off the ground, and it doesn't wriggle so much, and it doesn't spin the wheel and stuff like that. So they're pretty nice to ride a 125. It really teaches you the way to get every ounce of power that you've got out of it.
Nice move by Simone Sana there in the previous corner. He got around Uichi Ui, and Cecchinello looking for a run there as well. Steve Yenkner opting for a different line on bike 17. Now, this has really changed the state of play, because Tony Elias, around about half a lap ago, was under siege from Uichi Ui. Uichi Ui found something special, but Sana responded to that and has gotten around him. And that dicing between those two riders has enabled Tony to pull clear again. Yeah. Both Honda and Aprilia, interestingly, have had 5 wins at the current Brno circuit. Baz has mentioned about some of the changes that have been undertaken at this circuit over the years, but Jorg Martinez scored the only win for Derby. That was back in 1988. Can Uichi Ui maybe add his name to the list of riders to score victory on a Derby this evening? 14 to go.
I won in 1971 the 50cc Grand Prix here.
Bit of nostalgia there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the old circuit, you should have seen it. You'd have never believed how bad it was.
Is it an enjoyable place to be?
Then it was frightening, because it was still the Iron Curtain was still up, and it was pretty scary.
Well, they seem to be embracing the two-wheeled racing.
Oh, they love it. Massive crowd there and that, and really the difference was for all the sort of Westerner guys. I wasn't exactly the best behaved 20-year-old. So, and a lot of the guys, Angel Nieto was the guy I was racing with at the time, and you know, you had to really be very careful because you could end up being, you know, spending the night in jail or something for doing literally nothing.
I'd like to know your definition of nothing. Angel Nieto we saw on the grid prior to the commencement of this race, and there's Gabor Telmasi, who's
local guy.
doing very well. He started out of grid position number 8 on the Honda. He's under siege there at the moment, but the local riders, as we mentioned, have really shone here, as you'd expect them to do. They know the track pretty well.
Some of the Communist Bloc guys really have flown for years and years and years and years. They were very, very good in the 70s, really good guys, you know, but the trouble was they couldn't get their hands on any decent equipment. They didn't have any money, and more to the point, they weren't allowed outside of the Communist Bloc countries, so they were buggered, really.
What you're actually watching here is the battle for top Czech as well. Jakob Smers is just ahead of Gabor Telmasi, so the local, I guess, pride in being first Czech rider home is at stake there. Here's Tony Elias, once again hunched down beneath the visor. Another lap about to be put down in this, the 125 Grand Prix at Brno. Elias from Sana, Uichiwi, Cecchinello. We go back through the field. Poggiali is up to 10th, but I'm surprised he's not been able to claw his way forward in the manner that we thought he would, Baz.
Yeah, I don't think so. He's just struggling. There's no doubt whatsoever about that. You can see that he's really not happy with the bike. He was really very lucky to get away with that double front end lose. So that's really would put you off your strap, out of your stride, because to have it happen once but have it happen twice within the space of about 15 metres is really disconcerting. So, you know, I think he'll just be happy to sort of finish as high up as he can without finishing up in the dirt.
Uichiwi there throwing out a bit of a challenge to Tony Elias. He responds pretty well. I guess these riders have had something a little unusual to contend with during the course of practice and qualifying for this race. Normally a rider, I guess, is focused on handling issues and, you know, trying to get the maximum out of the bike, but Wasps have been actually providing a major drama for the riders, and Dr. Claudio Costa's, I guess, clinic has been besieged with a heap of riders who have been asking for treatment for stings. So wasp stings creating a major issue for the guys, and that's the last thing you want. They basically advise the riders to make sure that simple things like drinks and food are covered to prevent the wasps from...
horrible.
Yeah. At the moment, though, it is Tony Elias leading the way. In behind, Uichiwi and Simone Sana. Can Poggiali get up there and climb his way back up the order and keep the battle for the championship well and truly alive at the moment? It's Tony Elias back in just a few moments.
A reporter uncovers a conspiracy that goes all the way to the top.
May I ask how the senator's name came up?
And just when things couldn't get worse, Abby drops a bombshell.
I've had another job offer, Jack.
An all-new Law and Order, 8:30 Thursday. And at 9:30, a disturbing crime.
He derives excitement from stabbing women's flesh.
There's damning evidence, but who really is to blame?
I'm a dirty little boy.
What the hell did you do to your son?
Law and Order SVU, 9:30 Thursday.
Forget socks and slippers, Marlowe's have some of the best value Father's Day bargains around, and they're all in their big Father's Day catalogue.
Brighton Dad's car with a set of 4 floor mats, only $17.95.
I need some of those.
Ibiza car pack including seat covers and a steering wheel cover, $34.95 a set.
What a fantastic saving.
Dad will love a 156-piece toolkit, just $79.
One of them. Can't seem to make up my mind. That's a bargain.
You can't beat the winning team at Marlowe's.
Check the catalogue out now.
What gives this Honda Grand Prix bike its competitive edge? Shell Advance Oils, the new wave in racing.
Wild Turkey Premium Bourbon is made in Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. Now that's a far cry from them Chardonnay quaffing, tree hugging, designer water swilling, hip hop techno retro, collagen injected, private part piercing, herbal tea sipping folks who wouldn't know a fine bourbon if and they was swimming in it. Yes, sir, Wild Turkey. Not the latest thing, the genuine thing.
Gran Turismo 3 has just hit PlayStation 2. It's as close to real-life racing as you can get. Ask Glenn Seaton, for the first time ever, the car he races is featured in the game. PlayStation 2 and Ford are giving you the chance to win the street-legal version of a Ford race car, the Ford Falcon XR8 Rebel, worth almost $50,000, or one of 5 PlayStation 2 and Ford racing prize packs. Call 1902-552-052 and answer this question. Which Australian-built car is to be featured in Gran Turismo 3 for the first time?
This is the Czech Grand Prix in the 125s at Brno, and Yuichi Wee has found something to get around Simone Sana. Look at Sabatini in the background there having a look, and Steve Yankner as well. Up in front, Tony Elias has somehow managed to pull it all back together.
Keeping us all guessing. I honestly don't know what's going on there because he's...
Yep, and responding really well. No rider from the Czech Republic has ever scored a podium finish in MotoGP, so can Gabor Telmasi or Jakob Smers, who started on the second row of the grid, change that tonight? They are a little further down the order. There's Manuel Poggiali. What a tough evening it's been for him.
You see, changing direction, sorry to interrupt you there, but changing direction, he really had to sort of sit up off the bike to be, it just does not look happy on it. You know, I think it's more handling than horsepower. You know, it looks like it's quick enough, but he really does look like he's thinks he's going to fall off at any second.
You'll remember there was a fairly fiery, I guess, lead into the European summer break, a good battle between Elias and Poggiali. Those guys were exchanging words occasionally. Poggiali begins this second half of the season, if you like, pretty much upbeat. He believes the title is very much up for grabs and said that he spent most of his holidays just dedicated to rest. He's done absolutely nothing, gone nowhere, stayed at home because that's the way he thought by relaxing and just, you know, some complete rest that he would best prepare for the 7 Grand Prix that are left in the season. And there's still, I guess, Baz, a lot of points to play for. That's the major thing.
There really is. There's no doubt. And you think, as you say, 7 more races. I mean, it just seems such a long season this year because to get a 5-week break, I mean, you tend to think the season's almost over then, but it's barely halfway through.
He did say during the course of that break that Gilera had some changes to introduce for the bike at Brno here. They've got a new engine and they plan to use it here. The tests have gone pretty well with it, and they're pretty positive and optimistic heading into this round, but it's not panning out the way they would like it at the moment.
Oh, somebody out in the dirt there.
Have they gotten back on? Oh, that may have been Jakob Smers. It's difficult to tell, but it may have been one of the local riders who, those guys have been on maximum attack and doing an exceptional job endeavouring to stay in touch with the World Championship regulars. At the moment, Cecchinello from Sana, who has gotten around Tony Elias.
It's amazing the tyre technology now is just so good because look at all these bikes, none of them are moving around on the back end. I mean, it's that would be the first thing that would move around because you wouldn't really see the front end moving.
Good run here by Tony Elias.
Tony Elias.
Yep, got Sana there, set him up nicely and moved by. Derby, who run Yuichi Wee in 4th position there, bike 41. They also revealed that they had a new chassis and an engine package for this round. The engine was actually meant to make its first appearance at the Dutch TT in June, but they decided to wait and make sure that the performance of it was right and that it was at a competitive level. They had some positive tests which they carried out over that mid-season break. Which we tested at the Mugello circuit yet. Now what's happened here? Oh, Poggiali!
Yeah, that's...
Whoa!
That's exactly... it's obvious. Well, it wasn't obvious, but I was a bit worried that was going to happen because he was really struggling with that thing. You know, there's no doubt that he wasn't. And
that's frightening that he's been carted off like that. One can only hope that he sustained no major injuries, which will affect the rest of his championship campaign.
Yeah, I hope you're right. You know, it's just the worst thing in the world that happens. You get a bike and you think, oh, this thing, you know, you can't get it to change direction. Especially, you could see on this section here, he was really struggling with it. And all you have to try and tell yourself to do is not try too hard, because it will bite you. You know, he lost the front end, as you saw a couple of times there, and that gave him warning. And, you know, he sensibly sort of knocked the pace down a bit, but, you know, he's obviously trying too hard for the way the bike was handling.
Good move by Yuichi Wee there. He snuck past Simone Sana on the Derby. We were talking before we saw Poggiali crash out that it's a new engine and chassis for this team for this round. Main reason that the Derby team have instigated it here, they are trying to get their Japanese rider back into the title chase. He's slipped to 6th place in the standings after what was a good start to the season, but he's now 36 points behind the leader coming into this round, and that is Manuel Poggiali. But boy, we're set to see a major change, one would expect, in this championship. Now a run on Cecchinello by Tony Elias.
Yes,
is it enough?
got
He's
him.
done it.
That little Derby bike is incredible. It's designed by an Austrian guy called Harold Bartol, who used to be a really good rider himself. And great little thing when you consider it's been in there, 3 years now, and it's, you know, the first year out, it won a Grand Prix. It's quite incredible.
We mentioned at the beginning of this race how Tony Elias has gone from, I guess as the headlines have described him, from an apprentice to a title contender in the space of really half a season. Just 5 months ago, he would have been described as a...
Poggiali out, that means, sorry.
Yep. That's all right. I guess 5 months ago, he would have been thought of as an interesting prospect for the season, but mainly as a learning curve, I guess, how he would go and how he would adapt to the World Championship. But
the answer is fantastic.
Yeah,
well, I agree.
Exactly. He's really now one of the clear favourites for the title, and he's reluctant to be complacent about the whole thing either. He really says, you know, if I wasn't thinking about the title, I'd be lying, and he doesn't believe it's his objective at the moment. But I find that hard to believe. That would be something he would definitely want to do. And given that Poggiali is now out of this one, a very, very serious contender for the title.
Be nice to know how Poggiali is, isn't it? Wouldn't it?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's always a worry when they don't get up and walk away. We didn't at least see him moving, or appear to be moving there, Baz, on the stretcher. So that's, I guess, a good sign. Cecchinello remains in second position, the Aprilia rider. Interestingly, of the entire field of riders in this race, Nobby Ueda is the only current rider in the class to have previously won the Czech Grand Prix. That was back in 1997, and he only qualified for that race in 13th position. Nobby is on the second row on bike 7.
This pack have really pulled out from the rest, haven't they?
Yeah.
It's going to be one of this lot.
Nobby, who we were talking about a moment ago, is not in this lead pack, despite qualifying 7th fastest for the race. Interestingly, Baz, I thought they might get down a little closer to the lap record, but doesn't seem as though they have at this stage.
No, the temperature's reasonably high there, about 32, 33 degrees, so you get a temperature that high that if the ambient is 32, 33, then the track temperature is going to be 38, 39. And that's really not, temperature's not really conducive to sort of lap record times. The ideal sort of temperature would be sort of mid-20s. When it gets as hot as it is, the engines don't produce the power, even though there's a lot of oxygen around there because you're racing in and out the trees. But, you know, it's the ideal, as I say, is to be a bit cooler. We're up the inside of...
Cecchinello fights back. Gee, he held the speed of the Aprilia through that corner. Yuichi Wee stays in touch with him, and then it's the man who had his first win of the year in Germany after starting on the front row. That was Simone Sana. Bike 16, Yuichi Wee down the inside of Cecchinello. Look at Sana deep under brakes there.
Sana, that was a major go.
Tony Elias, meantime, continues to lead the field. He has now finished, or we shouldn't lose sight of the fact, rather, that he's finished on the podium in the last 4 consecutive races. So keeping that trend going, although Uichiwi having a little look here. Cecchinello and Sana battling away.
It's getting a bit fraught now.
Oh, Sana. The change of direction really helping him there. He looked as though he was on the outside on the previous corner. Sabatini right on the end of this freight train. Now, Cecchinello's lost some places. Just coming up into contention is Steve Yankner. Yep, Yankner has moved up. Sabatini right on the back of Cecchinello. Now Uichiwi around the outside of Tony Elias. So it's all happening at Brno.
Oh, Sana.
Yep. Elias drops back another one. I think we're going to be set for
a good finish.
Yeah, a very interesting finish in this one, without a doubt. At the German Grand Prix, Uichiwi failed to qualify for the front row for the first time in 23 races. He bounced back here, qualifying second at the moment. He leads the race on bike 41.
I tell you what, Sana's looking a bit dangerous now. When I say a bit dangerous, I mean he's riding down. He's looking like he's definitely going to be a threat.
Well, he would be pumped up after that victory at the Saxon Ring.
It's quick, really quick. You look at his corner entrance speed, his mid-speed, and getting out of it, he's on it, no doubt.
Elias now back in 5th position, so Yankner is really coming on strong here on bike number 17, the Aprilia.
And Elias back to 4th, 5th.
Sana having a look down the inside of Cecchinello. These guys are battling in almost the same place the lap before. What an unpredictable season it's been so far in the 125s. I mean, we've had 7 different winners. Sana taking his first victory, as I mentioned a little while back. That was at the last Grand Prix in Germany. 7 different winners in the first 9 races of the year. Quite remarkable. Only 2 riders, that's Masao Uzuma and Uichiwi, have scored more than 1 victory in the 125 class this year. And here's an interesting stat for you. Only once in the 52-year history of the Motorcycling World Championship has there been more than 7 different winners in a season in the 125 class. In 1996, there were 9 different winners. That's the most recent occasion that occurred.
Just trying to work out who I reckon's going to get this. It's definitely 6 of one and half a dozen of the other, isn't it? Sana looks quick. He definitely looks quick.
In terms of the breakdown of this championship, I guess, consecutive podiums. Tony Elias, as we mentioned, has had 4. Poggiali has had 2, but he won't be on the podium tonight. A move there on Tony Elias in the background by 2 of them. Sana was one of them. And Cecchinello had a look too, and Cecchinello gets there. Wow. How he can go from being race leader to 5th position. 3 laps remaining in this one. And a battle on at the front too. Uichiwi runs wide.
Run wide. Whoa, blew a hole in that one. Right now, Elias just about.
Gee, he's got a good run here. Tries to find a way past Uichiwi. Sabatini is there. So is Cecchinello. Sana, a look down the inside on our new race leader. That's Steve Yankner, who's doing a good job. So an Aprilia in the lead from another Aprilia in the hands of Simone Sana. Then it's the Derby rider, Uichiwi. A lot of them looking over their shoulder. Tony Elias in particular trying to, I guess, gauge just where Cecchinello is. And clawing or hooking onto the back of this lot, Max Sabatini on another Aprilia, bike 11. So Aprilia well represented in this bunch of 6 riders.
Great talent in the front here. I tell you, there's hardly anything to choose between any of this lot, really. It's back end of Elias's bike, just biting a little bit there.
Look over the shoulder for Yankner. Where is Sana? He's thinking. Sana has a number of things to think about, and one of them is pressure that's being applied from Yuichi Wee. Someone...
I don't know what was going on there.
Yeah, I don't know whether there's a tear-off or whether someone was a little frustrated. May have been Cecchinello getting frustrated with Tony Elias in the background.
Steve Yenka's board about to go out.
The message is, keep it flat. Not like that message you gave Steve Parrish some years ago, Barry.
Yes. He didn't listen either, did
No, he didn't. He didn't. At the moment, the race leader is listening, though. Steve Yenkner. A handful of laps to go at this sort of circuit, Baz. Is it the prime place to be?
17 and 19. It's really the way it is. If you can get a bit of a break, then you're in the pound seats, because basically all the guys behind it can fight with one another and slow each other up. But everybody's trying as hard as they can now. And I don't think anybody's going to get a run, get a free run away, because it's all so close. Look at this lot. You see how much they close up on the brakes. It's well, there's not much slipstreaming to go. Elias at the inside.
That is Elias and Yuichi Wee going at it there. So the two guys, and Yuichi Wee's lost a lot of pace there because Sabatini's come past. Now, all that has played right into the hands of our top three. Steve Yenkner, and then bike 16, Simone Sana, and the third of them is Cecchinello. So
well, really, Elias, if he wants to win this, he has seriously got to get his finger out now, because it's more or less done it for Wee. That coming together, or almost coming together, has blown a hole in it for him.
Certainly spooked him, didn't it?
Yeah, it spooked him. He slowed right up. I don't know whether it's causing... Look at that, look at this. It's really really slowed him up a lot. What all that was about, looking where he's going to where he's...
Elias kept the throttle wide open, didn't he?
Yeah. So Elias really has to make it up in this lap here. But this is the good thing. I've seen Elias before, and he's very, very good in the last couple of laps. He's a typical Angel Nieto type. Nieto used to be, Angel Nieto, the father of the Nietos now, was brilliant the last 2 or 3 laps of a race. He never used to bother the whole race, and it was down to unless he could clear off and win. But the last 2 or 3 laps of a race, he was stunning. His racecraft was second to none.
Elias has been quite impressive here, because it looked difficult to try and hook back onto this leading trio, but he's managed to do that. So with 1 to go in round 10 of the World Motorcycle Championship for the 125s, it's now or never for Tony Elias.
You see, when you're saying before where's the best place to be, there's no big straights run into the into the start and finish line. So really, you want to be up the front. It's not a case where someone can slipstream you and pass you on the run into the start and finish line. Now look at Elias.
Is Steve Yenkner going to add his name to the list?
Right. Running wide there. Elias could get up into third. Yes, there he goes.
Sana.
Right, if he keeps on it now, he could get another one down the inside here.
Yuichi Wee's found something.
Danny... Oh, no, he didn't. Oh, yeah, Uchi is up there.
He's up there with Cecchinello. Elias has got...
Right, yes, Elias should get... No, that was pretty close.
Looks as though Steve Yenkner has...
Yeah, he's the man.
Yeah, he's doing well, but Sana has found his way past Steve Yenkner. So Simone Sana on course for back-to-back Grand Prix wins. He did it in the last round at Germany. Will he do it in the Czech Grand Prix at Brno? Cecchinello fighting away with Tony Elias. 17 is Steve Yenkner, who's ridden superbly. Aprilia's 1 and 2, split by a Honda. At this stage, Tony Elias looking for the final spot on the podium, but he wants more than that down the inside.
Oh, I love it.
Excellent.
Up the inside of Yenkner.
Now, can he get another
I can't believe. If he can manage to do this, he's brilliant. There's Alberto there.
They're all looking on anxiously. Can he?
Oh, Cecchinello. Whoa, what a move, Lucio. That was a good one. Now watch Elias.
Look at the run that Tony Elias has got here.
And my money's on it. Oh, that is stunning.
Now the inside for Sana.
No, he's going to run wide.
Sana's gone. He threw it away in that final turn. Just a little too much much confidence.
Stunning.
Tony Elias will take this one out. Brilliant effort at Brno. Cecchinello second, Steve Yegner third.
Brilliant.
What a great Grand Prix.
He's on, at least he's on again. He's hurt his leg, but well, you did good. You did good.
Well, Tony Elias becomes only the third two-time winner this season.
I told you he was good on the last couple of laps. That was good stuff. Great stuff. Poor Sana. That is really... he's okay, though. I mean, look, you watch this, look. Running wide. Now watch, gets on it. And hang. I thought he... how lucky was Yuichi Wee?
Well, the team, I guess, there for some support at a tough time. He was staring down the barrel, Simone Sana, possibly of his second straight win of the season. But it's Tony Elias who walks away with the second win of the year. He's only the third rider of the season to score 2 wins. So far, there have been 7 different riders from the opening 10 races of the season.
That was a good race. Really good.
Yegner as well should be quite pleased with his performance. But it's Tony Elias who's taken it here at Brno. Back to see our champions on the other side of this.
Ready? They say Wall Street is a man's world.
Mac, I got a buyer here.
What? They're only half right.
I was thinking tomorrow night we could try a threesome.
From the creators of Sex and the City, Sherman, comes a drama that exposes the naked truth between men and women.
I just want to have dinner.
All the money they trade can't protect them from each other.
It isn't just about the money. Of course it is.
The series premiere, The Street, coming soon to 10.
Power tool for Dad on Father's Day? Why pay peanuts and get monkeys? Dad deserves the best. And for a little extra, you can give him this one. Makita, preferred by tradesmen. Makita, the one he really wants. Choose from a range of Father's Day gift packs, each with a value-added bonus. Hurry, it's a limited offer. Makita, tough, strong, gutsy. Makita's powerful on the inside where it really counts. Workmates, me and my Makita. What else?
Gran Turismo 3 has just hit PlayStation 2. It's as close to real-life racing as you can get. Ask Glenn Seaton for the first time ever the car he races is featured in the game. PlayStation 2 and Ford are giving you the chance to win the street-legal version of a Ford race car, the Ford Falcon XR8 Rebel, worth almost $50,000 or one of 5 PlayStation 2 and Ford racing prize packs. Call 1902-552-052 and answer this question. Which Australian-built car is to be featured in Gran Turismo 3 for the first time?
Elation for Tony Elias. He takes out the Czech GP in the 125s at Brno. A brilliant performance on that final lap. Here are the standings, Baz.
Yeah, there you go. Well, Elias now at the top, leading by 22 from Poggiali, from Lucio Cecchinello, Azuma, Yuichi, Borsoi, Jenka, and Simone Sana. He was a lucky boy tonight, Sana, wasn't he, that he didn't get run over?
Certainly was. Lucky to limp it to the line, I guess. Good reason for Tony Elias's team to celebrate here too. His teammate Daniel Petroza has finished in 8th position, so he's done an excellent job as well.
What a sensational last lap that was from Elias, wasn't it? You've got to admit, I was so surprised to see him get up and win the thing. I mean, he's brilliant.
His parents have been in tears at the track. They've watched his performance with the team. But very solid effort. Angel Nieto was one of the first to congratulate him on his victory, and so were the rest of the team, Bass.
Yeah. Oh, he said, you know, he's absolutely going to be a star. There's no two ways about it. When you think of how many good young guys there are now, Greg, that, you know, the Cecchinellos of the world, you know, the Poggialis, Elias, incredible, massive amount of talent.
Well, he's the star at the moment, Tony Elias, and tough end to the weekend.
There's 13 times world champion Angel Nieto. You see the guy just on the right with the grey hair and sunglasses. Yeah, Brno is very famous for its cut glass and crystal glass.
Joy for them. He looks like his father, doesn't he?
Yeah, absolutely, no doubt about that.
But it's a really good performance, and this could be, as we mentioned in the early part of the race tonight, the turning point in the championship. Poggiali drops to second, a 22-point lead for Tony Elias, and both Steve Yenkner and Simone Sana right up there, Cecchinello as well. So it's been a terrific Grand Prix in the 125s. Up next, the 250s.
Not since King Kong has a love story been so big.
You're cute.
In a new episode, size does matter.
When are we gonna,
I just need a few more yoga classes.
All new Simpsons, 7:30 Wednesday. Ben, his peg's missing.
I sucked him up in a vacuum.
Nice friend. Time for some crawling.
You give me a dead gerbil to take my mind off a dead gerbil? Wake up.
Wake up. Wake up! The Weather Show after The Simpsons, 8 o'clock Wednesday.
Getting rid of unwanted hair is as painful as a visit to the dentist. You rip, pluck, nick and cut. There's got to be a better way. Introducing Apple Stop Citrus Spray, the 6-in-1 citrus hair remover that's totally pain-free. Look, just spray the hair you want removed, then simply wipe it away. That's all you do. And you've got silky smooth skin every time.
It went on smooth, it came off smooth.
I was like, wow, it's a spray.
Spray and wipe it away.
The secret is the 6-in-1 citrus lotion that contains an effective hair remover, a gentle exfoliator, vitamins E and C, aloe vera, and enriched antioxidants to smooth and deeply moisturize, leaving your skin hydrated, softer, and hair-free. It's perfect for arms, legs, bikini line, underarms, and almost any other body part. And it works for women and men of all ages, long hair or short. Apple Stop Citrus Spray is even strong enough to remove tough, unsightly back hair. Just spray and wipe away. Look at the difference. Amazing. Stop shaving, stop waxing, and stop wasting money. Order Apple Stop Citrus Spray right now and never, ever worry about the pain of removing embarrassing hair again. But this offer gets better. Will include a second bottle absolutely free. This travel size is perfect for your purse, gym bag, or luggage. That's 2 bottles of Apple Stop Citrus Spray for just $59.95 plus postage and handling. When you pay by credit card, you'll receive Apple Stop Citrus Roll-On. Use it just like a pencil to target and remove unwanted facial hair. Sculpt beautiful eyebrows, remove hair on your chin, or get rid of that embarrassing hair above your lip for good. A $20 value, yours free. The complete Apple Stop Citrus Hair Removal System. $100 value can be yours for just $59.95. Order now from Danos Direct on 1-800-808-938. Or check out the Apple Stop Citrus Spray, as well as hundreds of other innovative products online at our totally secure website, danos.com.au.
Well, Daijiro Kato arrives at Brno brimming with confidence because he's won 6 Grand Prix so far this season. But Although he's got a 44-point lead in the championship, Barry Sheen, the man who might be trying to turn that around, is the man who's second in the points, Tetsuya Harada.
Yeah, he's certainly a good bloke, certainly a quick guy, Harada, and this circuit definitely suits the Aprilia. That's Harada, Kato, McWilliams, Melandri, 3 out of 4 Aprilias, Fonsigneto, Alsamora, De Bon, and Sebastian Porto.
We go back and have a look at the third row of the grid for you. Roberto Locatelli, reigning 125 world champion, will start alongside Randy DePunier, Roberto Rolfo and Franco Bettini from 12. And it's Matsudo, Oscar Scuro, and David Checker completes the top 16 in this field for the 250s. 44 points the lead in the championship for Kato over Harada coming into this round. But Kato did not win the last event at the Sachsenring in Germany.
I think you'll find that Kato, if he's going to have his work cut out anywhere, it will be here, because the Aprilia, this is ideal for the circuit, the Aprilia.
So far, Harada's single Grand Prix victory of the season came in Italy. But he's also won in Brno back in 1998. His 19-year-old teammate in Marco Melandri can't wait for this 20-lap race.
This is Kato coming up to take his position. He was last off to start and push the bike off, and that way he comes to the line with his tyres hotter than anybody else.
Set for a start, 20 laps this one in the 250s at Brno. Away we go.
Oh, pretty close stuff.
Good start by Kato though. From second position, he's just edged ahead by the looks of things. The Aprilia riders vying for position in behind him.
Oh, two Aprilias almost came together then. Oh dear, what is this?
Dramas further back in the field. May have been one of the local riders, not quite sure. But in the meantime, the rest of the field continue on their way. I think it may have been Gabor Rismeyer. He's run away fairly cleanly though. Daijiro Kato in the background there, you can see Marco Melandri got up on the ripple strips and had a bit of a moment.
He's really coming to grips with the 250 now, Melandri. We've seen him ride a 250 the same way as he used to ride a 125. It bit him a couple of times in testing in the winter and in a couple of the races earlier on this year. So I think you'll find now Melandri, now he's won one, he's going to go on and do better things.
Well, he's hoping to keep that winning feeling alive, Baz. He won his very first 250 Grand Prix at the previous round in the Sachsenring. Just 8 points behind Harada in the title chase. So doing very well at the moment, young Marco Melandri. And we know what an impressive record he's got. His win in Germany made him the youngest rider ever to win a Grand Prix in 2 different classes. Previous holder of that record was the Venezuelan, the great Johnny Cicotto. Took 2 wins in both the 250 and the 350 races on his Grand Prix debut at the Paul Ricard circuit.
That's a good shot. That shot you just saw there, you see half people were laying one way and half of them laying the other. It's really good.
Yeto in 4th, McWilliams in 5th. It's been a tough season for Jeremy McWilliams so far. A change of team in the first half of the season in the lead up to the European summer break. And Baz, he's had some moments here at Brno.
Yeah, he has. But, you know, I have to say, I'm a massive fan of Jeremy. He's very quick, but he crashes much, much too much. Virtually every run into the Grand Prix you get, you read in the press releases, rather looking to have a go there.
He's got him too.
Yeah, you read in the press releases that McWilliams fell down. He's falling down much too much, and you know, you can sympathise a certain amount, but it's far and away 10 times too much.
I guess it's been a seesaw for him in that sense, because he won the Dutch TT, but on home turf had a terrible run. Now we look back from Tetsuya Harada. Let's have a listen.
See, that's why it suits the Aprilia here, that it didn't drop very low down the rev range, and then it's back on the power again. Oh dear, oh wee.
That's Jeremy McWilliams, he's out. Well, no sooner had Barry put the kiss of death on him, and he is out of this one.
Oh, that is just really good squirt on change of direction. It's just, I don't know. You know.
Such a shame. The likeable Ulsterman.
No, he's a lovely, fabulous bloke, you know, but he just can't, you know, you can't fall off like that all the time and blame somebody else, which he doesn't blame anybody else, but you just can't. If you want to win a world championship, you have to stay upright.
I guess with the exception of his 250 win at Assen, the last big highlight for him was being on pole in the 500 race at Phillip Island.
And what did he do there?
Yeah.
In first lap.
It's probably, I mean, in terms of what's happened this evening for him here at Brno, that's not very good in terms of its timing, because Aprilia at some stage soon are going to be making it very clear what their plans are in terms of their motorcycle racing future.
Well, exactly that, no doubt whatsoever. And, you know, when you remember with the 500, he was incredibly quick with the 500. As you said, scored a pole at the Australian Grand Prix. But, you know, how many times did he fall off of that? You know, and Aprilia, I know at least a couple of people that said, oh, wow, we're so fed up with bolting bits on the bikes that Jeremy rides.
After his third place finish in Germany, Tetsuya Harada, who is leading the way at the moment, has now scored 47 podium finishes in the 250 class. That is staggering. That's one more than the multi-world champion, Jim Redman. There are now only 3 riders in the 52-year history of MotoGP who have scored more podium finishes in the 250 class than Harada. Max Biaggi is one of those riders. He's finished on the podium 53 times.
Yeah, incredible. When you think about it, it's a lot of race, isn't it?
Quite incredible. Well, Andrew, we caught a brief glimpse of him a moment ago. He's now, incidentally, the second youngest ever rider to win a 250 Grand Prix. The youngest is Britain's Alan Carter, who won in France in
83.
In 83, yep, very good, Baz. And that was just his second Grand Prix, yeah.
Yeah, Melandri has to hang on to the back of these guys. If they get away another half as much again as that, it can kiss them goodbye. It's almost too far now. You know, you get just a little bit too far. Oh no, he's struggling, Melandri. I think he's got to run in a hard tyre on the back of that, because the circuit temperature is 44 degrees. So they may be plumped for a harder compound rear, because it'll be better towards the end of the race, but it really looks as if he's struggling to get some heat into it.
We talked about that win at Marcos in Germany and how that made him the youngest ever rider to win a Grand Prix in 2 different classes. I don't know if you realise this, but you're the 5th youngest rider to win a Grand Prix in 2 classes. 20 years and 310 days.
How was I?
It's a while ago, isn't it?
Yeah, just bagatelle, really.
Melandri sits in 3rd position, 17 to go in the 250 Grand Prix at Brno. Good battle going on back here with Sebastian Porto on the Dark Dog Yamaha. Now, the Dark Dog Racing team have announced prior to the summer break that Porto's former teammate, Katja Ponsken, has been released from her contract, but there are lots of rumours around the paddock, Baz, about a possible hookup with the Shell Advance team for Katja.
Yeah, well, it wouldn't surprise me. It's, you know, I really don't know. You know, I don't know why. To say that she's been released from her contract, I think is. I think she got the golden elbow. Is more like it, actually. She fell down quite a lot of times, and you know, the reality was she was getting some publicity for Dark Dog, but you know, there's better ways of getting publicity.
Quick shot there of former 125 world champion Al Zamora, who's in the thick of that battle there. There's the Dark Dog Yamaha we were talking about. Sebastian Porto.
Dark Dog Yamaha, it could be sponsored by VIP Pet Foods, couldn't it?
We've had a bit of a day like that today, haven't we? Now we're on board with Al Zamora looking for a run down the inside here, and he's done it too.
Done it.
So Daijiro Kato's teammate makes his move. And I guess, Baz, he's been a little, for want of a better description, uninspiring, Al Zamora. And
wow, don't forget, the year with the championship, he really, you know, what did he win? He didn't win at all, did he?
It was, it was an incredibly consistent effort that took him to that. But we have seen in recent rounds, I must say, in the 250s, a better showing from him.
Yeah, he's definitely risen to the challenge of the 250, isn't he? You know, to start with, he really wasn't quick. But now he's going a lot better.
Aprilia have won the 250 race at Brno 6 times in the last 8 years. The last of Honda's 5 wins at this track was with Max Biaggi in 1997. Shinya Nakano's win last season was the second at the circuit for the Yamaha. Harada with a quick one, a 2:04.052, the lap record. Now that's a new lap record because Shinya Nakano's lap record last season was a 2:04.113. So that's a good performance. The average lap time around here sees the guys doing around about 156 k's an hour, just about.
Oh, struggling Melandri.
Yeah.
That doesn't look good, that bike, the way it's handling.
There you go. There's the confirmation of the new lap record for Tetsuya Harada. Good time there for him. And we're having a good time here too. We'll be back on the other side of this.
What do you do when the girl you've always wanted needs your help?
I wanted to ask you a legal question.
Help her arch enemy instead?
Ed, I want you to be my lawyer.
What? How can you think that he is right?
Good one. Now you've really blown your chance with her.
Ed Stevens is being a complete dope. Fine.
Why's Ed going against Carol in a court of law?
Ed, no choice.
Why don't you see how this holds up in court?
Will she ever forgive him?
Have to admit that was a cool exit.
I'm so screwed.
Ed, 8:30 Wednesday.
No time to work out? Fed up with exercise videos that become so repetitive? Tired of ab products that force you onto the floor? The future of fitness is finally here. Introducing the amazing Abtronic fitness system from Danos Direct. Get ready to firm, tone and tighten your upper abs, lower abs and love handles with no sweat. Abtronic is safe and simple to use. You control the 10 intensity levels and choose from 6 exercise programs. Watch as your ab muscles contract as if you're doing the sit-up. Your muscles are moving, but you're not. Use Abtronic to work out while watching TV, shopping, working, walking, anywhere, anytime. 10 minutes on the Abtronic is equivalent to up to 600 sit-ups. And because there are no wires or pads, it's easy to wear the Abtronic under your clothes. The amazing Abtronic fitness system is only available through this special TV offer from Danos Direct. Get the results you've been searching for and call 1-800-808-938 now. Other electronic machines sell for as much as $600, but the Abtronic fitness system is available to you for only 4 easy payments of $55 plus postage and handling. But for a limited time, you can purchase the Abtronic for only 3 easy payments of $55 plus postage and handling. That's 1 full payment off the normal price. Order now and you'll receive this comprehensive Abtronic instruction manual. Plus, you get the exclusive Abtronic Advanced Weight Loss Guide that offers you an eating plan that'll make you slim and trim, as well as 2 lithium batteries, all valued at $30 but yours free. And remember, Abtronic is a powerful machine, so follow the instructions carefully and get the results. And when you pay by credit card, you'll also receive this handy traveling bag valued at $20 absolutely free. When you take advantage of this special offer, we'll send you at no extra charge a second shorter belt to use on your thighs or arms. So call Danos Direct now on 1-800-808-938 or check out the Abtronic fitness system as well as hundreds of other innovative products online at our totally secure website, danos.com.au.
Melandri had his 19th birthday in the break between the German Grand Prix and this round, so keep in mind he headed into the break fresh from that excellent performance where he took out the 250 win at the Sachsenring, the last round of the World Championship, now starting to close in on Kato. And this, I guess, Baz, is a surprise. We've seen Kato just so dominant this season. Could the efforts by Aprilia during the break maybe making a difference now?
Well, yeah, you know, it's certainly, mind you, if Kato's got 44 points lead, so he can afford to sort of...
oh, look at Melandri there.
Yeah.
Carried a lot of...
Oh, way to do it. Oh, I'm pretty sure that tyre thing was right, you know, because his bike looks a different bike now.
Well, the crowd certainly erupted when he made that lunge, and I thought he was going to wash it out. It'd go a little bit too wide, but he carried it.
Yeah, it looked like he was going out on the grey stuff, didn't it? Right now, it'd be interesting, next lap, see how much, if any, he pulls in on Harada. And if he does pull Harada in, then you can be pretty sure that he's going to give Harada a really hard time, because the bike is transformed now.
Quite incredible. That podium finish now. We've got another lap record. Melandri goes quicker at 2:03.83, and that's no surprise. Wow. So he's really on a mission.
He really is. You can see now he's got his chin flat on the tank. He's definitely having a go.
As we said, it's going to be interesting to see if he can maintain that progress and try and hook up with Harada. Kato, who's now back to third. An incredible streak of point-scoring finishes for him.
Kato's going with him, though, Greg. He's definitely hasn't given up the ghost.
No, not at all. Not at all. Mike 74, the Honda rider, right in touch with him. But the point I was going to make was that Kato has had a streak of point-scoring finishes that's unbeaten. He was on the podium at the last round in Germany. His point-scoring finishes now out to 25. You've got to go back to the first race of 2000 to find one where he didn't. Only 3 other riders in the 52-year history of Grand Prix racing have had longer consecutive streaks of point-scoring finishes on a 250. Luca Catalora, in fact, holds the record with 34. Let's have a listen here.
Really, the best thing for Melandri to do, being as he can't pull away from Kato, is just to shut it down a little bit. Well, not even shut it down. Let Kato pass there, for example, and follow him for 4 or 5 laps. And you never know if Kato can go any quicker. Then they might both catch Harada. But I don't think they would. But I think it'd be a good thing for Marco to do that. You know, just to give him a good suss on what's going on as far as how quick Kato is.
Harada's going to get him here. Kato rather's going to get him here because
there he does.
He's done it. He's done it beautifully. So. It seemed as though
Melandri back in. Now you see that's silly. That's really inexperienced. You say, wow, just follow him. Just follow him. Let him do the work. You've done all the work for like 4 or 5, 6, 7 laps. You can't get away. So let him do the work and follow him so you can suss out where he's good and bad.
Well, that's the whole point, I think, of the matter here, because it does look as though Melandri is working harder. The bike is using a lot more of the track, and Kato just seems to be doing it easier.
And you think about it, you put yourself in Kato's shoes.
Why does he need to go crazy?
Yeah, there you go. You know, if he knows he can't catch, then there you go. And swap over on the change of direction.
I don't know if we'll see it, but he does run very wide on the exit of that corner there.
And Kato comes back.
So Melandri really, and you can see the way the bike moves around under brakes too, that hopeful that he's not going to wear the tyre away in the stage, or in this latter stage of the race, because Kato will definitely pounce then. He can just afford to cruise for the time being. He's not worried in the slightest about the fact that Harada has cleared out.
Incredible wealth of talent the Japanese have now, you know, by comparison to what they... Oh, dear me.
That's exactly what I was worried about.
Yeah.
But no, Baz, you're quite right. I mean, and it's spread right across the 3 classes, isn't it?
Really has. It's that's just hard on the front with the back coming up a bit light, and he's on the back brake as well.
Kato's got him here. He's through again.
Just leave him and follow him.
He's run wide there too, so Melandri's lost some space there. There's Harada. Well, with under 10 laps left in the Czech GP at Brno, can Kato catch our leader? It seems as though he may have something in reserve here. Let's look at this.
That was pretty close, you see. Very close. Kato's back wheel was very close to Melandri's front, and the last thing you want is your front wheel knocked out from underneath you. So
Marco backed off there. I think that's what caused the gap between the two of them in terms of track position there.
If Melandri can get a little bit closer and just keep his eye on where Kato's good, bad and otherwise, then he's got a bit of a chance of a dive up the inside. But if he has a go and tries to get past again now, then he's banging his head against the brick wall.
Sometimes it's a little deceptive when you watch television as to how violent and how full on the ride is for a rider, and how much they've got their hands full.
Yeah, it is. It's Yuzi.
Cheryl Yuzi is out. That's the teammate to Matsudo. Now let's have a look here.
Yawatsu lost here. Oh, front. Oh, and almost but nearly not quite saved there. You got to, if you're videoing this, have a look after. That was quite a classic there. He was hanging right down off the left-hand side of it.
He's up an AOK, which is good news, but pretty disappointed with the outcome in the Czech GP at Brno. Melandri right in touch with Daijiro Kato, which is quite encouraging. Oh no, McWilliams he's out. Yep, that is the day for the Ulsterman. And how disappointed would he be right now? The fall, he picked it up, and now some dramas for that bike. So McWilliams will take no further part in it. He started from grid 3 at Brno.
I think that was really quite a true thing that you said, that, you know, now is not the time of year to be slinging it down the road every weekend, because, as you say, Aprilia are looking to the 2002 season and the coming of the new GP1 class, and it's there's plenty of riders around.
Obviously, he carries a lot of credit.
Now,
what
have we got going on here?
This is Melandri.
It looks like Harada has just pulled out a tiny little bit more out of these two.
Well, it's been an impressive performance, and he's been able to just really cruise, I guess. He's not had too much to worry about. Just a little concerned about Melandri's bike. It does still look a little ragged. He hasn't been as aggressive with it. He's backed it off, but you do see the bike tend to move around a little nervously at times.
Right,
here we go.
Right, now this back marker could make someone's day. And watch here.
Melandri a little wide, perhaps anticipating the lap rider.
Yeah,
Kato
might get a good run and better run out of it.
Lap rider gave them plenty of room too, which is a good thing. Tear off from Kato down the inside. Melandri.
Good, that's the way. Now you see, this was his only hope as to whether Kato can get back past again. No, he's got the right place for a change of direction, but Kato might get a bit better run out. But he's done, that's the best thing he could possibly do, the most sensible thing he could do. As to whether it sticks or not, no one knows, but he could not have done a better job of it.
Seems as though he made a split-second call there too, because Kato ripped the tear off, and the next thing Melandri was through. So
well, that's all you need, you know, because it takes a little bit of concentration, you know, take your hand off the handlebar, get your tear off and whatever, and you just got to be ready to seize the moment. That's not really a lot, it's just on the ripple sweeps.
Ultimate aggression here from Marco Melandri, looking for an Aprilia 1-2. Tetsuya Harada staring down the barrel of win number 2
now,
at this
look at
track.
this, up the inside, Harada, no, Kato rather, not Harada. Whoa, he's fast into there, Melandri, he might go a bit wide, yeah, which he has done, but he's given it away. No, no, you see, that's perfect. That's Kato thinking, oh, yeah, I've got him, get on the power, and the back end just jumps out a little bit, so it's sort of back to status quo there. They both made a mistake. The back end of Melandri's. Now you see, you've got to make sure that you don't give him a chance to get in a position like here, Melandri running nice and wide on the outside of that. And you just got to make sure that they don't get a better run so they can slip up the inside on change of direction. Now this is it.
Second flag on display. Harada takes his second.
No! Good ride from Melandri. That was spot on. That was well managed. And for a young guy on a 250 for the first year, I thought that was brilliant.
Good effort from Fonzie Nieto too. He takes 4th position, just ahead of Roberto Rolfo, who stormed up to 6th position from, or 5th position I should say, from 11th on the grid. What a result though for Tetsuya Harada.
There you go, championship points with Cato at the top on 197 from Harada, Alandri, Rolfo, Fonsigneto, Alsamora, Locatelli and Jeremy McWilliams. Cato's got not a bad lead now, but they cut it back a little bit tonight.
Yeah, they certainly have. So quite an interesting GP, and Harada was just brilliant at Brno. Even more brilliant, I think, was the performance of Marco Melandri.
Yeah, it was. That was very, very good. I was laughing at Gog in a mouthful of champagne in her face.
Both the Aprilia riders extending the terrific run here at Brno, but that's not the only motorsport we've got coming your way right here on Network 10. Don't forget, next Sunday, for all the latest motorsport goss and news from home and abroad, tune to Billy Woods on RPM. The following night is the latest round of the Kart World Series. Now that's coming your way right after Sports Tonight. Bill Woods and Neil Crompton, all the action from Vancouver, Canada. And we're back on two wheels for round 11 of the World Motorcycle Championship, Estoril in Portugal, and Billy will be on scene with Daryl Beattie that Sunday, September 9, right after Sports Tonight. On behalf of Barry Sheen, Bill Woods and our injured compadre Daryl Beattie, I'm Greg Rust. That's bye for now.